Leading off for the Profs.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rowan University. This is game number 2 of our Njac Championship Series. Chris Losey, Brian Startari.
Good afternoon.
Alongside,
everyone.
and that's David Virgilio over there with the glasses. He reminds you of the Chicago band back in the 70s with the shades
it's
there.
about 25 or 6 to 4.
Yeah, it is. It's almost time, actually.
Correct.
So, all right. So the first game won by Rowan 12-4. So they have a 1-0 lead. Brian. One thing about Mike Dixon, he has 2 very, very good left-handed starters, and he'll see the second one today. But in the meantime, William Paterson is the home team in this game. And we get started right away. Njac DeFow is the right-hander for the Pioneers. Ian McIsaac, the DH, and we're underway with the first pitch, and it's a ball.
I'll tell you what, you can't get much better on a sunny afternoon here playing for the championship and what these kids have gone through over the last 2 years or so a year and a half. So it's really nice to see the culmination of things going on right now, and just a great day for baseball, Chris.
It is 84 degrees. First pitch temperature. Umpires have shifted around. Billy Rush now has the plate. McMull was at first. That ball's fouled away.
We seem to be in an area where there's a lot of foul balls behind this plate. 4 or 5 in the first game.
There's a big fence there right in front of us. And Justin Sims is over at third. So count is 2 balls and 1 strike to the DH McIsaac. On base 3 times in the opener. Again, 12-4. Profs won the first one. So a win to this one, and they will clinch the Njac championship.
McIsaac batted .410 in the regular season. You can't ask more than that from your leadoff hitter.
Especially when he's a designated hitter.
That's correct.
Mike Dixon pulls out all the stops, putting a DH at the top of the lineup. He will run and run and run as well. You'll see that. 2-1 is fouled away, and it's now 2-2.
The nice thing about McIsaac, when you look at his swing, I mean, even though he had over 122 at bats, very consistent, slugging percentage near 700, hit for a little power, drove in some runs, and this is obviously run machine at the top of the order with 40.
Boy, does Marie come through or what?
Yeah, Marie Wozniak is the best.
That pitch is outside, ball 4. McIsaac walks.
So McIsaac, maybe you look to steal here early. He did steal 5 of 7 attempts in the regular season. So having the leadoff guy off, Chris, is a recipe for success in baseball.
Especially for this Prof team, because already they had defensively, a bases loaded 1-out jam. They got out of it, went in the dugout, and they scored 6 runs in the bottom half of that frame. So
yeah, it doesn't seem like Rowan likes to score 1 or 2. It seems like they score 5, 6, or 7 in big pockets.
Victor Cruz, a third baseman, on base 5 times in 6 at-bats in the opener. He squares the bunt, and that pitch is taken up high. 1 ball, no strikes. There's Billy Rush, home plate umpire. We've done a lot of games together.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Looks like William Paterson's defense kind of straight up in the outfield. Third base and first guarding lines.
No changes defensively with the exception of Bacco at third, and he came in. There's a delayed steal.
We got pass
throw
ball
gets
there.
away and a pass ball. I got a nice big monitor right in front of me. We're going to have to fix that. David, slide like 30 feet port. Oh, no, that's the left side.
That's
is
starboard.
port. Starboard. Yeah, go
right here. Start.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Count is 2-0 at the plate. McIsaac at second on the pass ball. Victor Cruz, third baseman from Mike Dixon. Here's the 2-0. Misses. It's 3-0. And Kokas is on deck.
You green light him here, Chris?
No.
Just checking if you're paying attention.
No, I think either answer is correct.
Well, you want to be aggressive, but with nobody out and get your first 2 men on with your meat of the order coming up, I'd probably take a pitcher.
Wait till you see who bats fourth. That's a strike.
Take was on.
So it's 3-1. It's a great atmosphere here, though. I mean, you went here, but I mean, it's a great atmosphere.
Brings back some memories of calling games from 25 years ago, right in this spot.
Njac DeFow, the righty from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. 3-1. Ball 4. Habib can't handle it, and the throw to third. Gets away. McIsaac is going to come in and score. The Profs get an early run just like that.
That'll be the error. William Paterson, catcher, kind of an ill-advised play there. I think he was going to have the base anyway. Threw down the line and passed the third baseman, and Rowan gets their first run.
Second baseman, Alex Kokas.
So now it's Kokas, and I know you got a nugget about Alex Kokas.
But that was Dylan Habib who made the error there.
So what's your nugget on Alex Kokas?
The fact that he batted 300 and started in all 26 games for the Profs.
About that. First pitch swinging, lifted in the air, shallow center field. That's DiGirolamo coming in, and it drops in front of everybody. And everybody's going to be safe.
They used to call those the seeing eye singles in back in the day.
Well, you know, Harry never said that. Harry would say that ball has eyes like a single.
That ball had eyes.
Like a single.
Yeah, like a single.
Right fielder number 24.
You know, years ago, he did a lot of play-by-play, but not a lot of color. It's nice to sit back and just let you work and just throw in times where I can.
Okay. I know you're going. Here it is. Look, 6'7" Ryan Murphy. Hit a ball last week in Atlantic City in the semifinal against Kane toward the Bay at some point.
Kid's tall.
First pitch swinging, fouled away. That's the aggressiveness that this team has. They swing first pitch often.
Murphy led the Profs in home runs in the regular season with 8. Go along with 31 RBI.
One strike to Murphy. 2 on. Nobody out here in the first. A run in already for the Profs. Look at that. Picture in picture there.
Mm-hmm. Murphy grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania. Of course, the Double-A affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Back in the day?
Back in the day.
What are they called now?
The Fightins.
Fightins.
They're still Reading, though, right?
Yeah, they are. It's a wonder that Atlantic City, apparently, they're trying to get back in the mix.
That was kind of such a cool complex down there, right off the expressway.
It was.
Mitch Williams played down there for a little bit.
That's Cruz at second. That pitch is outside.
So the Profs just one game away from the Njac championship after a 4-hour and 13-minute game one.
Oh, boy. Can't have that. I know, you've got dinner reservations. I got something going on.
My stomach is growling already, but then again, it always is.
Well, there's sandwiches under the table here.
Nope, don't want to run my dinner.
2-1, nobody out. The 1-2. Off speed, misses inside, and it's 2-2 to Murphy.
I'll tell you, for a power hitter and as aggressive as his stance is, he does show some patience there on some of the off-speed pitch. And we're really sitting back waiting for that fastball where he can jack. I don't know if he's going to see it or not.
Highly unlikely. And again, there in the inset, that's Victor Cruz. Been on base all day. And the foul from the stretch, the pitch. It's off speed, it's in the dirt, and it's a full count to Murphy. Nick Schooley on deck, the shortstop. He had 2 RBIs in the last game.
William Paterson getting hit around in game 1. This is not starting off very well for game 2. Already nobody out, a run across, and now they're in danger of loading the bases.
I was talking to Mike Rucci. I saw him before, longtime Rowan catcher, coach here. Good to see him. Here's the 3-2 to Murphy. Almost hit him. Puts Murphy on. The bases are loaded for the Profs with nobody out, and Schooley's up. And already a run in.
Nick Schooley, not a lot of power, but he does hit for average. And this will give a visit from the William Paterson pitching coach. Has some early trouble here in the first.
And that's a problem, too, because you're facing elimination. And Doug and I talked about this. We had an opportunity in both games because Rowan had healthy leads early on, Bri.
Right.
So at what point do you start game planning for game 2? You're down 8 runs, 6th inning, 7th inning. So when do you start planning for game 2?
Well, and you figure, right, obviously, if they win today, they force that pivotal game 3, obviously, for the championship. And you're right. There's kind of a decision where you have to kind of think, hey, I got to cut bait and save my arms for the other game.
Absolutely.
Because if you can't, and, if you're bound by 6, 7 runs, you just throw in the towel and just, live to fight another day.
And that's the point that I was trying to make. And Doug was, he said the same thing. The problem with that is anything can happen in these games, and we saw it. 6 runs just like that. So anyway, here's Schooley. He had a 2-run single in the first game, on base 3 times, and nobody out, and a chance for a big inning here for the Profs. Schooley's a switch hitter. Pitch outside, ball 1.
I was looking over the statistics a little early before the game, and I found it amazing that Rowan, as a team, only grounded in to 4 double plays for the entire team. I hope I didn't just put the Malikis on them.
Where'd you find that at?
Right here, grounded into double plays.
Wow.
GDP.
Yeah. That's a gross, some kind of product or something.
That's the GNP.
Fouled out of play. Where are you parked, by the way?
I am parked illegally over there to the left.
And so am I, as am I.
Yes.
1 ball and 1 strike. You have no idea, folks, how much fun we're going to have. You just have no idea. A ball and a strike. The base is loaded for the Profs. A run in and nobody out here in the top of the first. Rowan ahead 1-0 in games and 1-0 on the scoreboard. The Fowles pitch. Schooley sends it in the air to right field. Yellen there makes the catch. Here comes the throw home. It's bad. Sacrifice fly and another run as Cruz comes home, and it's 2-0 Rowan.
You know, another thing there where it was going to take a perfect throw. The ball was fairly deep, so he was going to score the run. So, you know, and luckily, it did miss the cutoff, but luckily it did not require another base for Rowan to score, and then they give him away another run. You know, the error by the catcher earlier in the inning, you don't want to do yourself anything of your worse. You're already behind the 8 ball now. Yeah. Let's not make it worse and make it with more errors. Play fundamentals.
By the way, on that throw, both runners move up, so now Murphy is at second.
And a base open now.
Kokas at third. And this is Ryan Mastrangeli.
And that's
smokes one to left. Dean on the run makes the catch. Another run's going to score. Sacrifice fly from Mastrangeli. It is 3-0 as Kokas comes home with the third run.
So there you have it there. A lack of fundamentals, missing the cutoff. Both runners move up. They get the out and left for out number 2 in the inning. But they sacrifice themselves another run, and now Rowan goes up 3-0.
25, Eric DiDomenico.
Now, here's the first baseman, Eric DiDomenico, and you were making some comments as you came here in midway through the first game and you saw the picks that he had at first base. He is an unbelievably talented defensive first baseman.
In fact, I got here just in time to watch him first field a grounder very cleanly and bit a nice spin to throw to second to get the force with the shortstop covering, and that just showed some of the agility and some of the reaction time that he had. And then right after that, a beautiful scoop on a low throw from third base. So, I mean, the kid can rake, but also the glove is just outstanding.
And that was a double play that started when he went to the bag first, remember, and he threw to second for the tag. Gets away from Habib.
Which is one of the harder plays for an infielder, because you're always like, should I take the shore out and step on first? But when you're confident, I mean, that's a hard throw to make.
He did.
That's all.
He stepped on first.
No, I'm saying,
second,
but it's a hard throw to make because you got to make the tag at second.
Yeah.
So
he was terrible at that, Ryan Howard. Horrible at that throw.
Yeah, but he hit like 700 home runs, so I forgive that.
What happened after that? He wound up in Atlanta's system.
I know.
Never mind. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, and 3 runs in for the Profs. And that pitch hits DiDomenico, and he'll go to first and third now, and now it'll be Jared Marks, the catcher.
So Rowan almost batting around here in the first inning. Not a good start for WP.
Catcher number 16.
It's 2 cool letters.
Jared Marks.
Call sign, right? Call letters.
WIP.
Yeah. Right. Oh no.
Where I spent almost a decade.
Tom Bigby passing away.
Angelo. One call during the week. Yeah, I saw that.
2 outs, 2 on for the Profs. Chris Losey, Brian Startari here on BFA Sports coverage of the Njac Championship Series. David Virgilio now manning the helm, or being the Captain Stubing of our love boat.
Rowan winning 24 of 28 games on the season now into the conference. Really some dominating baseball from beginning to end.
No doubt. 17-1 in the regular season, earning the top seed. And now they won 3 straight here in the postseason. The Fowles pitch. There's a back pick to first.
Real good snap throw.
DiDomenico is back.
Habib really shed the mask and threw down there. And
he controlled the running game last game. No stolen base attempts for Rowan. He's got a very good arm.
You know, it's not just commanding the pitchers, but also being responsibly defensively.
The 1-0. That's a strike call. 1-1. So a ball and a strike to the catcher Marks. Trip McCaffrey on deck, getting his first start since the first round playoff in which he was injured, and talking to the public address announcer here, Freddie Schwartz, a good friend of mine for many, many years, he gave me the story, and he said it might have been one of the ugliest injuries he's ever seen in his life, collision-wise. Pitch outside, there's the steal, and they get in the rundown. Now they're going to do this.
It's all timing now.
DiDomenico's got to stay alive, but he can't do it. And Rowan runs out of an inning. 3 runs for the Profs in the top of the first. We're going to the bottom of the first here on BFA. It's 3-0 Rowan in Game 2 of the Njac Championship Series on BFA.
Boom.
3 runs for the Profs in the top of the first, and now it's William Paterson at bat. They trail 3-0 in this game, and they trail 1-0 in the championship series here on BFA. The batting order for the Pioneers, Steve DiGirolamo will lead off the center fielder, Matt Farrar at shortstop, Dylan Habib, the catcher, Steve Yellen in right field. The DH is Dan Carter. Carson Weiss at first base bats 6th. Colin Lombardo batting 7th at second base. Frankie Dean is in left field, batting 8th. Batting 9th, the third baseman, David Backow. He came in for Chris Liriano in the first game. And the pitcher is Eli Atia from Rowan, the lefty from Cherry Hill West. Went 6 innings, getting the victory in the semifinal in Game 2 last week at Atlantic City against Kane. So he has a 2-0 count. DiGirolamo gets one in there. Now it's 2-1.
I don't know if you could ask for better baseball weather than what we are experiencing right now.
Ask the equipment, though. It almost fried last
Well, it is bright. We could use a 10 here, and I could use some sunblock. But other than that, we're fine.
It evens the count at 2-2. Steve DiGirolamo on base twice in the first game. Good center fielder here for WP.
Nice stroke.
Sends one into center field. That's Trip McCaffrey in for Bobiak, makes the catch. We talked about Trip McCaffrey again, coming back from that very, very ugly collision that he had with Ryan Murphy. This is his first game back and probably forced into it because of the injury to Jason Bobiak.
Well, good to see him back in action. And certainly you don't want to see any player go through that kind of injury, horrific or not.
Mike Dixon said he's one of the team leaders. Matt Ferrara, the shortstop, showed some nice leather in the last game. He's first pitch swinging, pops it up right side. That's DiDomenico over the fence, and as Doug Stasic would say, ran out of real estate.
Another souvenir.
Memorial. That's where you're going.
Another souvenir for a fan. You know, if you kind of just squint your eyes just a little bit, it almost looks like a game in the 70s or maybe a spring training game between the Padres
and
the
Orioles. I would say Pirates, actually.
Maybe, yeah.
I'll go with the Pirates. They had like 9 different uniform
They
combinations.
did with the taxi cab hats. My father used to say the 3 lines.
Oh, he called it taxi. That's
Yeah,
cool.
wow.
Phillies had that for a little bit.
Pops Willie Starchel.
I believe when the vet was imploded. Were you there?
Yes, I was. I was not.
Were you on the air?
Not inside the stadium. No, that was.
Well, that would
actually.
I some people wished you were.
Yeah, I hear you. I've been married to her for 20 years.
2-strike pitch, way up high, 1 and 2.
Actually, I think that was 03 when the vet was imploded, and I did not start working for WIP until 2005.
All right. Well, in 03, when they brought the vet down, I think someone was able to get the Willie Stargell plaque. The ground ball to short.
At
the school eats up. That's correct.
Because my Eagles season tickets were at 602, row 2, seat 1, and the S denotes where Willie Stargell hit the longest hit ball to right field in Veterans Stadium.
Yeah.
That was the quick exit to the restroom between Eagles games because at the vet, if you didn't go right away,
you didn't go.
You didn't go at all.
Well, they called them vomitoriums back then.
Oh, the vet. The vets. If sports was a religion, that was our church.
2 outs, and here's the catcher, Dylan Habib. In the first game, Brian, he really got beat up. We stopped the game once. He got hit. Took 2 more. Took 1 to the face.
He's not showing any ill effects. I mean, he had a snap throw in the first. He's been around all around the infield already in a classic long first inning there for WP. But it looks like he's a tough kid, as most catchers are.
Especially at this level.
Yeah, you have to have something wrong with you, and you have to be tough if you want to play behind the plate. Speaking from a guy who caught.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, well.
1-1. Swing and a miss.
Well, listen, I'm good friends with Ben Davis, and I got to tell you, there's something wrong with him too.
By the way, you got to text him. Is he
Ben?
working tonight?
He should be. He was working last night, so he does work the series.
They do. Is that, well, it's a different series though.
Oh, that's right. They play the Red Sox tonight, right?
It's the the Rouge Hose.
Well, good. Maybe they'll get some luck because they sure can't beat the Marlins.
Let me tell you, my buddy Dave Sims. We talk all the time. We talk before the season. You know Dave from Temple, right? Seattle Mariners. Mm-hmm. And he's like, watch out for the Marlins, Lowe's. Watch out for the Marlins. That pitch is called strike 3.
Wow. And Habib did not like the call from the home plate umpire.
Problem is he's got to go back out there and catch.
That's
no
right.
runs.
That's
for
another
the Pioneers.
Good idea.
Go on to the second. 3-0 Rowan here on BFA. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Top of the second here at Rowan in Game 2 of the Njac Championship on BFA Sports. Chris Losey, Brian Startari, and David Virgilio is at the controls.
I'll tell you, Chris, lots of familiar faces here walking these old Howard grounds that I used to walk around a long time ago. I've seen Joe Crispin,
yes,
the head coach of the Profs basketball team. Saw Marie Wozniak, very good friend of mine, who's the assistant athletic director here with John Giannini as well. It's like It's like a reunion.
Where's John? He's back there.
John was around there. He's got the Carl Spackler hat on.
Yeah, I saw. Jared Marks.
It's in the hole. It's in the hole.
Jared Marks, prof catcher. As a 1-on-1 count, it'll be Marks, McCaffrey, and then the top of the order of the DH, Ryan McIsaac. Profs sent 7 men to the plate, scoring 3 in the top of the first. They lead 3-0. 1-1 just misses.
It's a good off-speed pitch.
2-1.
Took a little off there. Kind of.
Little noise coming from the Pioneer dugout, wondering where that pitch was.
It looked good to me.
Here's the 2-1.
And that is
Called strike.
And that is why you don't argue with the umpire early in the contest, especially when you're going to have him breathe down your neck the entire game.
Jack Defoe, right-hander. And the 2-2. Missed.
There's going to be a problem later on, I suggest, between the dugout from William Paterson and the home plate umpire. I just feel like tensions are rising here a little bit.
You like to stir the pot.
I do.
This isn't Facebook. Marks pops it up right side. Carson Weiss, foul ground, makes the catch.
I like a good argument.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, Defoe, 7-1 for William Paterson coming into the Njac. 3.15 ERA. 60 innings, so you can definitely say he can pitch his innings. He took a little bit of damage control in that first inning, but a guy does have a resume of eating some innings out there. So if he can settle down for William Paterson,
it's a rarity. But when you have 2 9-inning games in the playoffs, and Doug mentioned it in the first game a little bit, one of the goals is to get into the bullpen of your opponent.
Right.
And this is something, and I think maybe that's why. To be perfectly frank with you, Mike Lauterhahn, who was the head coach of William Paterson, has put Defoe on the mound because he's an innings eater.
Well, and he's
gets
also
it through.
But he's also a strikeout pitcher too, which limits the ball in play. And every time the ball's in play, obviously things can happen defensively. So a strikeout pitcher, or even a guy that pitches to contact on the ground, somebody that can control the game. They definitely need to stay in this game as the innings go on, because they're facing elimination after getting shellacked in that first game, 12-4.
1-2 to McCaffrey, and then the top of the order, McIsaac next. 1 out, no base runners here in the top of the second inning. Slider missed it in the dirt. Habib's got to make a play.
Another nice play by Habib. You see that if you're watching the catching of this. It was a drop ball, third strike, but instead of just panicking and throwing it down, he took his time, took the extra step, made the throw, and got the out at first. There was a discussion on, I think it was ESPN the other night, whether or not baseball should eliminate the third strike drop rule.
Well, I don't know if you know the direction the Atlantic League took. We'll get into that in a second as McIsaac bats. And he sends one in the hole for a base hit. We got an issue, because I know I'm parked illegally, but so no. Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Third baseman Victor.
One of Glassboro's finest.
Yes, no, that's Rowan Police.
Was that Rowan Police?
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to make sure that we're I have a rental car, by the way.
First thing you thought of was,
oh yes,
I'm parked illegally. Can you fix my ticket?
We'll be back after these messages. Right? No, don't ticket the car.
Well, that's a rental.
McIsaac with Victor Cruz up.
Well,
McIsaac at first.
That's when you put in a stolen claim.
To right, Yellen's got to go back. Still going back. Over his head. McIsaac coming around third. McIsaac being sent home. Here comes a throw home. Late. Another run for Rowan. McIsaac scores from first on the triple by Victor Cruz.
A stand-up triple by Victor Cruz. Hit that the opposite way to right field, and got a bad jump on it at the first part. And when you're backpedaling like that, I think he just got away from himself out there, got to the wall, and Cruz was off, cruising, if you will.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So it's a black Ford F-350, and it's not in Lot Y? Oh, we're good. All right. That's fine. Thank you. Doing a great job. Yeah.
He said it was an F-150. I said, thank you, it's not my Silverado.
Yeah. By the way, with great driving skills you have. Jack Defoe's day is done already.
Wow, I just said he was an innings hitter.
Yeah, how about that? But you know what? You can't play around, Brian. I mean, this is,
elimination
talk about
time.
the backs to the wall. How about inside the wall?
Yeah, I don't think he was getting hit around that hard, though. I mean, there have been some errors out there. I mean, there's some contact. Some have been hitting there. But, again, this is the kind of guy this is the kind of strategy that should have been employed in the game one. But, again, now you're chasing the game here. And, you don't have a lot of options.
New pitcher for William Paterson is Matt Lawler, junior from Linwood, New Jersey, left-handed pitcher. He's the son of an umpire by the same name. He was in attendance today. I saw him. And he's in a really tough spot here. He comes in with a runner at third, 2 outs, and already the Pioneers trailing 4-0. This is Game 2 of the Njac Championship Series on BFA Sports. Chris Losey, Brian Startari, and the crew with you. I
got to tell you, Chris, I appreciate you giving me a ring this morning. It's been quite a while since I got behind the microphone in a capacity like this. I'm still doing some public address work. But
well, that's the thing. That's the trade-off now. I get to do a St. Joe's game.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's how that works.
You're going to have to ask somebody higher than my pay grade.
No. You're going to make that happen.
Yeah. So. But I kind of enjoy doing the play-by-play and the color. And it's
when was the last time you've done this?
Last time I did color for a game?
Yeah.
Man.
Ever?
Well, I did some work, some side work while I was in WIP, but no, I mean at this place it has to be 25 years. It's the first time I've done this in a while.
What do you think of this setup?
I think the setup is great. I think our esteemed colleague here, Peter Cetera, has done a great job. Seriously, I loved you in that '83 album. Awesome, thank you so much. No, it's a great setup. Rowan does things well, and BFA Sports is a really good setup here. So I'm glad to be here.
That's Cruz at third with the triple. And this is Koka's first pitch swinging on Lawler, and he sends it to center field. DiGirolamo under it. Makes the catch. One pitch for Lawler, gets out of the second inning.
That's called efficiency. 1
run for the Profs. We're going to go to the bottom of the second here in Game 2 of the Njac final. 4-0 Rowan on BFA. There is the Rowan dugout. We start the bottom of the second inning. Steve Yellen, the right fielder, on base 3 times in the opener.
I guess I'm going to have to start talking now as you stick that big hoagie in your mouth.
Well, no, I just wanted to. It's called preparation. You missed it last week because we have a guy, Doc Morgan, who has a truck.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I have a picture, though.
I bet you do. I got a nice Polaroid.
It'll be Yellen, Dan Carter, Carson Weiss, 4, 5, and 6, facing Eli Attia from Cherry Hill West.
As we come up on the top of the hour here, 5 o'clock here on this Friday afternoon in Glassboro, as a line shot to left for a single. The sun's starting to drop a little bit. I wonder if that's going to play any kind of havoc on either the pitchers or the catchers here as the sun starts to drop and the shadows kind of change a little bit.
You know, it's funny you mention that because, when we were watching the big club in the press box or even on television, they always make a comment how the ball comes out in the sun, goes through a shadow, goes back to the sun. Sure, it's difficult.
Well, you're starting to see him come in a little bit to play in the left field area, so we'll see if that plays any havoc from 5 to 7 o'clock in this twilight.
I mentioned that, actually, twilight.
Yeah, it reminds me where you could actually, not knowing when the game was played, Major League Baseball. But if you could look at the shadows and the sun, you actually knew it was a playoff game or a September game.
Yeah.
It just had that feel when you looked at the field.
Yeah. As Brian mentioned, Yellen reaches with a base hit. Now this one up the middle.
Nice
Look at
play.
Schooley. He's only got one play at first, and that's late. Again, DiDomenico with the flashing leather, but safe all around and a first and second now for WP.
Outstanding play by Domenico to grab that ball, ranging to his left and getting quick up off the knees and throwing it to first. Another great scoop at first base, but the umpire made the correct call. He was safe by a step there, but nonetheless, a terrific defensive play.
We talk about Nick Schooley at short all the time, and what he's been able to do. And DiDomenico, Doug Stats had called him either a Hoover, or no, he called him a Dyson.
Yeah, what a great play by Schooley there. I mean, just to dive to his left and get up and have the fortitude to throw across body to first base.
2 on, nobody out, and this ball is roped into right center field, and it's going to get through Murphy. That's Carson Weiss. He'll stop at first. A run for Yellen. WP on the board. It's 4-1.
That kind of wakes up the William Paterson dugout and pretty good contingents of fans here that made the trip down the turnpike here to root on the Pioneers. That'll be that'll be an error on Murphy.
Interesting, that would be an unearned run. So runners at the corners now for the Pioneers. Nobody out still.
Second baseman number 14, Colin Lombardo.
And here's Colin Lombardo. So Eli Attia in a little bit of a jam here in the second. Nobody out.
Attia's starting to get hit just a little bit here with some harder hit balls, and starting to get some gap as well. So
hit him where they ain't.
Yep, something to look on to as William Paterson tries to claw themselves back into this game in the early part.
Missed with that one, and it's 2-0. You know, I had a conversation with the home plate umpire, Justin Sims, a little bit last game, trying to move the C position umpire so we don't get screened out. Didn't work. That's Justin.
Oddly enough, the official scorer did not charge an error to Murphy there on that play, so still only one error in the game belonging to William Paterson. So the runs are earned.
It's home cooking.
It is some home cooking.
2-0, runners at the corners. The pitch up high, and it's 3-0. There is some stirring in the Rowan bullpen.
No one out here in the second, and you load the bases here, some clutch hitting, and we have a whole new ball game.
Here's the 3-0. Got that one over. 3-1.
This game has all the earmarks of another 4-hour contest.
No, it doesn't.
That's just wishful thinking.
No, it doesn't. 3-1.
Tie for a ball.
And another walk. And you can see the emotion after Lombardo walked. He looked over in the dugout.
He did the old Dubal Herrera double slap.
And that's going to load the bases. And here comes Kevin Gunner. So with Gunner out to the mound, we'll bring up Frankie Dean, the left fielder, and we had a lot of fun with him last game because he's the one right by the nest, and you can see him. We had a tight shot on him, and he's facing them, and
he's having a good time out there with the nest.
The last time I umpired an Njac playoff game was here. It was 2003. And those guys were nuts. I mean,
it's the closest thing you can get to like the bleacher bums in Chicago. But that's kind of cool. It looks like one of them little left field perches of the Green Monster in Boston. But it takes a special kind of fan to sit out there.
So the conference is over, and the bases are loaded now for the Pioneers. Nobody out in the bottom of the second, Rowan up 4-1. Game 2 of the Njac Championship Series here on BFA.
Frankie Dean led the Pioneers in batting average in the regular season. 402 clip, Chris.
And he is batting in the 8th spot today. Attia's first delivery misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Pressure spot here for Eli Attia from Cherry Hill West. He has the bases loaded, nobody out, and the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss at that.
Cherry Hill West, always a excellent program for baseball. In fact, one of my high school friends, Jim DeVitro, his son went to Cherry Hill West and is enjoying a good career at LaSalle. Was having a great year.
Oh, shout out to David Miller. Swing and a miss at that.
And
ball with 2 strikes.
Under some tough circumstances as well, too. Under the kids have to play under the guys that maybe baseball would be canceled there and hoping to get another year out there. But LaSalle's just had a terrific year.
They're done.
Are they done?
Yeah, they're done.
Well, forget that. They still have had a terrific
year.
year.
Outstanding year. 32 wins. David Miller's a good friend. And talk about that in a second. Got him. Comes back with 3 straight.
Yeah, he fell behind him early and then battled there. That's a big out there to get that out there with runners. Jam, nowhere to put him.
Exactly. Here's David Backo, the third baseman. He came in for Chris Liriano in the 6th inning of the opener. But back to David Miller and LaSalle. We got the word, and he was devastated, and he was all optimistic that he could raise the money, and then he found that it was $9 million.
Yeah, I read that story. Mike Jensen did a great job in the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Didn't he?
You know, obviously it's a bad story. You know, you don't want to see happen. Any programs kind of be lost to attrition out there. But, you know, you think about it. The city, the Big Five with the basketball, right? But, you know, there's a lot of good baseball being played in town, too, with St. Joe's.
Villanova's doing well.
Villanova. I mean, it's not just a basketball town.
Agreed.
I mean, it's a great college town.
Agreed. 1 strike to Backo. And Tia seems to have found the strike zone.
You know, speaking of Philadelphia Inquirer, I saw Bob Brook over here today as well. Bob's nephew is playing for William Paterson.
Really?
And incidentally, another nephew of his is starting right now for St. Joseph's.
Wow. Fritz.
There's some information.
We call those nuggets, don't we?
Nuggets. He's not the best color man in the league for nothing, Marty.
2-strike pitch to Backo. Missed. And it's 1-2.
Oh, Rowan. Now Rowan's turn to give the home plate umpire a little bit of guff.
That's when you know you're doing a good job, when you're hearing it from both ends, right?
That is correct.
No, it's not. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Backo. The top of the order is next for the Pioneers and Steve DiGirolamo. 1-2 and 1 out. Fouled away.
A good rip there. The umpire is always the most unpopular person.
Not me.
Either way.
I'm the show, right?
Stop. I've heard some stories, please. Way to go, Joe West.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases are loaded here for William Patterson.
Did you take the tomatoes off the hoagie?
I did.
How could you do that?
Backo with a 1-2 count. Because I don't like tomatoes.
That's crazy.
The 1-2. Got him.
Oh, he punched him out. I don't know what you're doing there, 3-2. You know he's not going to throw a breaking ball there with the bases loaded. And he sat there looking, and the ball was close. It was right at borderline with the knees. You can't look surprised when the umpire punches you out. You got to go up there with a plan.
Old adage, 2-2 pitch, a curveball. 99% of the time, the 3-2 is going to be a fastball.
All right.
Like you said, with the bases loaded.
There's no way. I mean, he's not going to risk an off-speed pitch there. So you got to be looking fastball. And if it's anywhere near between the knees and the chest, you have to swing.
2 straight strikeouts for Atia. Now he can get out of this. DiGirolamo on the top of the order up.
He's starting to throw strikes again. Maybe that little mound visit helped him out a little bit here and calmed him down. So
he's 0 for 1. That's Carter, the DH, at third.
Ever since then, he's kind of calmed down a little bit.
Swing and a miss. Ball and a strike. DiGirolamo with a 1-1 count, 2 outs, the bases still loaded. They were loaded with nobody out, and Atia came back with 2 straight strikeouts on Frankie Dean and David Backo. There's a strike call.
You can actually see the confidence rising on the mound right now by Atia. He's I don't know if you guys can hear the earshot here.
If we can hear it, they can hear it.
We are right next to William Paterson, and they are giving it.
By the way, his name is Bill Rush.
Bill Rush. I don't want to get his name in
to
protect him.
He's got thick skin.
As do you.
It's 1-2 and 2 outs. The pitch. Called strike 3. The inning is over. 3 straight strikeouts for Atiyeh, pitching out of a bases-loaded no-out jam. A run for William Paterson. We're going to the top of the third on BFA. It's 4-1 in Game 2 of the Njac Championship Series.
All right, we're back here at Rowan. Brian Startari doing the color here with Chris Losey as your play-by-play. Beautiful day for baseball here as Rowan and William Paterson in game number 2 of this Njac Championship. Rowan winning game 1. Profs up 4-1 here at the top of the third, and Ryan Murphy will lead things up for the Profs.
Takes a ball down low. 1 ball, no strikes. We can get used to this.
Oh, I love this stuff. This is great.
I'm getting used to that.
I mean, in
fact, a little segue, and I can take another bite.
I was just going to say, while you feed your face with that Jimmy John's hoagie, I can sit here and do some play-by-play. Murphy rips one to left. That'll be a single for Murphy, and Rowan has the lead man on here in the top of the third inning.
You're doing fine. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you. Yeah, that's because you're hungry. That'll bring up Nick Schooley, the shortstop for the Profs, the man on here.
All right, so obviously you matriculated here. What's a prof?
As a professor. It started as a teacher's college back in 1923. It was Glassboro's Teachers College, then morphed into Glassboro State College.
Nice. And
then the Rowan College of New Jersey when Henry dropped a bunch of paper on it. Henry Rowan, that is.
Yeah. It's only Henry I would know, right? 1 strike to Schooley.
That's it. Schooley, again, with a great defensive play earlier in the game. Now we'll see if he can help this team with his stick as well.
Scored a run first inning, which Rowan had 3. 4-1 Profs in the top of the third. They are the visiting team here in game 2.
Kind of odd there.
That's off the plate.
Kind of odd when you're sitting at your home stadium and you are having to be the road team here. It's kind of weird because of the benches, the way they're configured, and the strategy and things of that nature. It's kind of odd.
You remember when that happened?
The Toronto Blue Jays. That's right. When they couldn't get out of Toronto,
some kind of G8 summit or something like that. Man.
That's right, and they switched the series.
We're not going to get political. Well, you can, but
no, let's not get political.
It's all right. No, I happened to see $3.19 a gallon on my way here. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
$70 to fill my truck. I'm not bitter.
Great truck, by the way.
Thank you. Which is not illegally parked.
And he's out because first base is occupied, less than 2 outs. So that's the first out of the inning.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to my boys Chase and Braden. Braden watching along on YouTube on the BFA Sports Network. He said, "Chris, you're really good."
Oh, I thought you said
no. He meant Dad. You're really good. He's like,
it's all right. It's all right.
All right.
1 out. Mastrangeli up.
Mastrangeli.
Good left fielder. And the discipline that these guys have, because it got a little testy in the last game.
Yeah, I came here late into the ending of the second game, but you told me some emotions were high.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, nothing came of it.
Well,
the 1-0.
You don't want to see that.
Straight up in the air. That's short. Ferrara's got to look into that sun
And
Makes the catch. You
Out
know,
number
if
two.
somebody yelled Noonan, I was probably going home. Second out of the inning.
there is some bright sunshine, even though the sun's dropping a little bit. That's a tough play for the shortstop going backwards. And again, it is bright here, but a nice play nonetheless. So the Profs with a runner on first and 2 out now, and that'll bring up Eric DiDomenico,
First baseman.
we've talked about at length.
Reached bases first time up as well. That one's in the dirt. No advance, though.
It was funny. And
by Murphy. Good.
I know you being an umpire for so many years, and how's it feel to being yelled at by both sides? I mean, you got to have an even temper there, but it's I guess
you know the answer I give everybody. It's like being married to everybody. 1 ball, no strikes.
We know how that is.
DiDomenico, to be followed by the catcher Jared Marks. Murphy goes. Little hit and run, and DiDomenico fouls it back.
It's certainly not an easy thing to do to be an official in sports, especially.
Well, you've done hoops.
I've done basketball and
with our good buddy
Jim Kenny.
And a shout out to Jim Kenny, and I hope he's watching. He's probably not.
Brian, 4 p.m. Rowan University. Chris Losey, baseball. So he used to leave the messages on the answer machine, not voicemail, an answer machine.
Yeah, they were the best.
Yeah. How's that Jimmy John's?
4 bites in, not too bad.
Wow.
Yep. 1-1.
That's some pretty big bites. I still can't get over how you took the tomatoes off a sandwich. I mean, you live in New Jersey. They are not jerseys. The jerseys are not quite ready yet.
I'm a South Philly guy. I'm not a Jersey guy. 2-1.
Jerseys are not quite in season just
yet. You can have it.
No, I'm going to take mine to go.
Yeah. And then you're going to dinner.
That'll be lunch tomorrow.
All right. Here's the 2-1.
Who am I kidding? My teenage son Chase will have that gone before I even see it.
3-1, and then Braden will be like, "Yeah, that's good." Like this, like the dog, like the dog. By the way, how's Max doing?
Max is doing great. He's laying out in the backyard all day. He's the only son that doesn't eat more than the other boys, so he's good.
He's got 4 legs, a lot of fur.
That's it.
It's a 3-1 with 2 outs. Matt Lawler, the lefty. Here it comes. Missed down low, ball 4.
So he walks him. That's first and second now for the Profs with 2 outs, and that'll be Jarrett Marks is up.
That's the catcher.
Jarrett Marks, the catcher.
Had an unusual delay last game when he actually went over to the Rowan dugout. It was a good 3 or 4 minutes. I think we call that what was that, the Janet Jackson thing, equipment malfunction? No, that was a wardrobe, but this was equipment.
That was a wardrobe malfunction.
That was equipment. So 2 on and 2 outs for the Profs here in the third. Matt Lawler in a little bit of a jam.
Mark's the senior leader here for Rowan. Out of South Plainfield, New Jersey.
First pitch swinging, lines it into center for a hit. Coming around Murphy, stumbling a little. He's going to score. And the Profs get another run. It's 5-1 Rowan.
Good piece of hitting going the other way there for Marks there. He over the second baseman's head, nice line drive there, and you're right. He almost stumbled coming around third. It could have been some problem there, but Oppo Boppo.
So we call it Oppo.
Yeah. That's a good piece of hitting. You know when you're going with the ball and not trying to pull things. You don't see much shifts here at the collegiate level as you do in the major league level, but you know when somebody's staying on and hitting well, they're spraying it and they're hitting all fields because they're keeping their bat level and their eye on the proverbial ball.
Trip McCaffrey struck out his first time up. 2 outs and runners at the corners again for the Profs.
Not a very big fellow on the mound there, but he throws some heat for his size.
Matt Lawler from Linwood, New Jersey.
The home of Pete Thompson, our good friend at WTAJ. What is that? WT? Can't remember. Not important.
To third, Becko. Low throw, and there's a dig out by Weiss. The inning is over. Another run, though, for the Profs. We're going to the bottom of the third here at Glassboro. It's 5-1 Rowan on BFA.
Shortstop, Matt Ferrara.
Bottom of the third.
This is like L.A. and France game. I'm having a good time over here. You get me hungry, too, with this damn Jimmy John's.
B-Star. Oh, my God. We go back almost 10 years, right?
Yeah, to the Lilas, yeah. Or was that?
That was the lunch place. No, the Lilas. Come on.
The steakhouse.
Yeah, that's it. He just ratted us out.
Well.
Matt Ferrara, the shortstop, leading off in the second. 5-1 Profs in
Statute
game
of
two.
limitations is
Stop.
over.
You know what? I mean, that was a good night. You got to talk about the night. We were going to go to the Phillies. It was either a home opener or close to it in the early part of the season. And I had come back from a doubleheader. I worked at Eastern, and it was about 41 degrees and rapidly declining.
Right. And
we went, nah.
We decided to bail on the ball game that night.
And fouled at the plate.
And who knows? We ended up at a bar. Go figure, David.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Figure.
Oh, wait, that was the same night, wasn't it?
It was the same night.
Oh, my goodness.
Your memory is the second thing to go, Chris.
Ferrara to be followed by the catcher Dylan Habib and Steve Yellen. Right side, that's going to find the seats.
So,
good catch. And he holds it up and then
look at that.
Throws it back.
And he can't keep the baseball at a collegiate level. We need him. In fact, I saw Rowan's head coach from basketball, Joe Crispin. He was searching through the weeds back there to find some of those baseballs back there. We were able to snag one here.
You did?
Yes.
I did not. Yeah. I'm under the desk. No, that's not true.
Oh, my God.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Chop third base. Cruz will get it foul.
One of the hardest plays to make for a third baseman, that bounding ball off the plate. Best, obviously, what he did was let it go foul if you can, because you're at the mercy. You're not going to get him at first.
Oh, yeah.
With that high hop.
Yep. There's a look at Ferrara. Good shortstop. Talked about him in the first game. He didn't with the putouts, but saving runs by not letting the ball get into the outfield.
Another player of the Profs, the Pioneers, that started all 33 games for William Paterson as well. Only 5 of them to do so. But this team's been together. I mean, there's a reason why they're in the Njac conference final here. This is a good baseball team. And some kind of leadership there. They stay in 33 games.
Took out TCNJ in their semifinal series in 2 straight last weekend to set up this matchup with the Profs, and the count is now full, 3-2 to Ferrara.
The thing I thought about Ferrara was interesting. He led the team in total bases. Not a lot of power there, but a lot of RBIs, a lot of contact hitter. He's a drive-and-run machine.
Right side, did a minute go? Out of play.
But he's going to have to get interesting to drive himself in here because there's no one on base right now. So
5-1 the score, bottom of the third here on BFA. Chris Losey, Brian Startari. Yes, that Brian Startari.
Oh, please. Yes, kind of a big deal.
I have a very good friend. Hang on one second. That pitch is fouled away. I have a very, very good friend named Joe Wozniak. He's not watching, so it doesn't matter. He says Wozniak.
Wozniak, yeah.
Yeah, now Doug said Wozniak. So how do you say Marie's
last name? It's
Maria
Wozniak, the assistant AD here at Rowan
We're going to
University.
fix that. Then we will fix that.
In fact, Marie spent quite a long time at St. Joseph's University where...
You've been there a couple times?
Yeah, she hired me 16 years ago.
Got to talk to her.
In fact...
Near to right, Murphy's under it.
In fact, due to COVID protocols this year, I only did 4 games as the public announcer this year up on Hawk Hill. Usually about 12 to 14. Usually my golf trip money. I'm still going away, but I'm going to have less paper.
Here's Habib, the catcher. Struck out looking his last time up in an eventful at-bat.
Yeah. I think he may have something less to say to the home plate umpire this time, Bill Rush.
That's fouled out of play.
Boy, they are wasting.
Say hello to his father who's watching in Florida, Mr. Bill Leonard. Say hello to Bill, right?
Greetings to Mr. Bill Leonard.
Leonard's.
He's watching on the BFA Sports Network.
Let me tell you something. I said it on the first broadcast because I umpired for him down in the Russ Mat tournament down in Winter Haven when you were scraping ice off your windshield up here.
Oh,
and then down there you're doing, spring college
Winter
baseball.
Haven's beautiful, home of the Cleveland Indians.
That's where it was, yeah. Swing and a miss at that pitch, 0-2 to Habib. But anyway, he makes no bones about, the political
Right,
side
okay.
of the spectrum. Let me put it to you this way. It's not where Beyonce sings. So, and the shirts were priceless. I mean,
Swing
you
and a
would
miss.
love them. You're kind of guy.
Yeah.
Habib strikes out for the second time. That's the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Steve Yellen. I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Eli Attia has really settled in now.
He has.
It seems like he's very confident on the mound, getting ahead of the hitters. After that little hiccup he had in the second inning, came back, got out of the jam here, and is really pitched confidently here going into the bottom of the third.
I believe it was a K, and a K.
Yes.
To end that with bases loaded, nobody out.
3 straight.
Oh, you just gave the Marv Albert yes.
Yes!
He was retiring at the end of this.
Is he?
Yeah,
I can't understand these guys that stand on this long at work. I mean, I know you love what you do. Like Brady, he's like 45. Will you get done?
He just won a Super Bowl.
I mean, he's got 6 Super Bowls. He's like $4 billion. He's married to a model. Dude, take it easy.
Every time I watch Blue Bloods, I look at Bridget Money and I go, what are you doing? Why'd you do that? Then I look at
Giselle, he's fine. I mean, listen. You know,
2 balls, no strikes here with 2 outs. And no base runners here in the bottom of the third.
Tom leads a charmed life. But he did lose Super Bowl 52.
Yes, he did. I really, really tried to get there. I really tried to
I
get
wasn't
there.
paying $5,000
But I
for
had
Rochester
that.
Minnesota.
Remember, I had that sinus infection. I had the surgery and everything.
Yeah.
I was done. 3-0 pitch.
Actually, I had gone to the Eagles' second Super Bowl in Jacksonville. We had a great time, but obviously we all know how that ended. But I got to watch the game with my brother and my kids, and as
Yellen walks.
Yellen walks. That was more important to watch the game with my brother and my kids. And February 4th, 2018 is a day I will never forget.
I believe it is in your book.
This Day in Philadelphia Sports, available online. With thank you for the plug. I appreciate
Anytime.
it. And it's 4th printing now.
Wow.
Yeah. We've done very well. My co-author, Kevin Reevy, who's getting married in July.
Yeah. Fouled back.
Right in front of us.
I'm getting married, too.
I know you are.
Yeah.
In November.
That's right. You will be in attendance.
I will. And
then there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, but no bachelor party this time.
Says you.
Says Chris.
Somebody, no, right? No. 1 strike pitch coming to Carter, and it's a throw over from Attia.
Almost balked. Almost balked there.
You think?
I think so. I think he almost led to the plate first. But you would know. You're the Harry Wendell stat of umpires.
Lord. 1 strike pitch to Carter. Ripped down the third base line, but it's foul.
It's foul going all the way back.
And it's 0-2. 2 strikes to Carter, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Rowan is up 5-1, as it says right there on the scoreboard, the graphics.
I just can't believe how big this university has gotten over the last 20 years. And I graduated in 1998 after 6.5 years at Knight College. Was the best 7 years of my life.
I'm sorry. The reason why I'm laughing, Pluto and Animal House is 7 years of college down the drain.
Down the drain. Well, that's what I was alluding to. I work full time and went night, but I can't believe how big and beautiful this university has become.
Bounced up there with the 0-2. It's now a ball and 2 strikes to the designated hitter.
Hey, Flounder, how are you?
Dan Carter. Carson Weiss is on deck, the first baseman. We are going to get a chance to talk to Dr. G. Dr.
John Giannini, again, as I know, he's in the Carl Spackler hat over there, presiding as the athletic director here at Rowan University.
1-2 pitch coming. Fastball fouled away. Tia got inside there.
Dr. John, of course, head coach at Maine and later at LaSalle for many years. When I was working in public address at St. Joe's, many a time John Giannini would slap the table and give the referee these stares.
Yeah, stare works really well.
Yeah.
John Chaney was big on that.
He's also had a few choice words that I cannot repeat.
1-2
right
just misses. Well, depends on the choice.
Now, Dr. John also is a member of our Italian club here in Glassboro called St. Anthony's. Dr. John, one heck of a bocce player.
Really?
Yes, he is.
He's good with the Bellini.
He is good with the Bellini.
2-2, 2 outs. The pitch to Carter. In the dirt. Now it's 3-2.
Dusty down there.
You should have seen the play at the plate we had. And then I believe it was
a little
Doug
windstorm
saying,
coming up.
We just ordered a whole thing of pollen and dust.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing here. At least the pollen, I think, is finally dissipated. I mean, it was tough there for a couple weeks.
The 3-2. Fouled at the plate. Carter stays alive.
This is a bigger collegiate stadium than I had thought. I don't know the exact dimensions here, but it looks like a pretty good shot out to the gaps there in left and right center.
Yeah, I think it's symmetrical. It's 365, something like that. So another 3-2 pitch coming from Attia. Here in the third, with the runner at first. Here it is. Missed inside, ball 4.
So they got something going on here. First and second, 2 out here. A big hit here. Could make things interesting here in the bottom of the third.
And Weiss was the one that got the RBI in the last bat for the Pioneers. He's up now, 2 on and 2 out.
You know, I was looking at William Paterson. Of course, you said they had a decent record overall, 27-6. But you know, they were dominant at home, but like, again, just as good on the road. 8-3 in all games on the road, and you know, when you're 27-6, doesn't matter where you're playing.
Yeah.
You're a good baseball team.
Missed outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Absolutely no breeze out there. The flag laying limp out there in left center.
Not very good, yeah. And the sun now is just going to come right through and bake us for a little bit. 1-0. Foul tip Marks has got. Ball and a strike with 2 outs, 2 on for the Pioneers. Here in the third, 5-1 Rowan in game 2.
Weiss very aggressive approaching here. Looks like he does want to get things going here in the third.
Pioneers have to have this one. They trail 1-0. Best of 3. 1-1 from Attia is inside. It's 2-1.
I got to look up how long of an outing Attia had this year, but you know, as we mentioned earlier, had a little bit of a hiccup in the second, but his pitch count's way over 50 now.
He went into the 7th in game 2 of the semifinal.
You were there.
I was there. And you can see it too on BFA Sports right on the YouTube page. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fouled back, 2-2. Yes, he did. So now it's 2-2.
The first day, might I add, of no masks outdoors at Rowan University. Beautiful out here to see people smiling, see their faces, see a little baseball, a little slice of normalcy and Americana back here. Glad to see it.
Mm-hmm. The umpires, though, still. It's an NCAA thing.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on the NCAA.
Yeah. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. The pitch. Weiss sends it into right field. Murphy coming toward the line. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. No runs for the Pioneers in the bottom of the third. They leave 2. We go to the 4th. On BFA, it's 5-1 Rowan.
Designated hitter Ryan McIsaac.
Oh, we start the top of the 4th inning. Great catch by Brian Startari. Stop of the 4th inning.
You got to be quick.
Ryan,
you got to be quick around here.
Yes, when the wind comes, you're there. Top of the 4th inning.
I'm full of wind.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It'll be top of the order. McIsaac, Cruz, and Kokas to face Matt Lawler, who was in his third inning of work.
5-1 Profs.
5-1 Profs is the score, just like Brian said.
These kids really got to feel good right now. Again, like after everything that's going on in the last 15 months and what's happening with eligibility, they are now just a few innings away at Rowan from winning the Njac championship. Paterson trying to force a Game 3 tomorrow.
Fouled on the third base.
But, I mean, it's nice to see baseball again. It's nice to see a crowd.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to see people enjoying it. And, especially for, you talk about the juniors or the seniors have lost a lot of the important things of the college experience. So this is
it's
good
funny
to see.
you mentioned that because if we were at Penn State, they're not called juniors or seniors.
Yeah, I know. They're called
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, upperclassmen or something, or fourth-year people or whatever.
2-1. Through the hole right side and a base hit for McIsaac. That's his second hit, and he leads off the prop fourth with a single. And that'll bring up Victor Cruz. He's been on base all day.
Nice slice of hitting there, too, to go the opposite way again. And we saw that at the end of last inning as well, too, again.
Oppo.
Boppo.
Victor Cruz, third baseman.
Has Victor Cruz done any salsa dancing after the...
No, and I've been waiting for him to do it, actually. I'll tell you what. I know you were there at Pitches in the Dirt.
Oh, when he got hurt?
Talking about, where he got hurt. And it's such a feel-good story because the Giants thought the fans were cheering his injury.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember when the fan actually from there, reached out to him? That was just beautiful. Because they weren't cheering his injury. They were cheering it was a fourth down, right?
Yep.
It was an incomplete.
Well, the same thing happened with the Michael Irvin incident.
Different.
They were
That's different.
Well, they were cheering at first, and then when they knew it was
serious.
When they knew it was serious, that's when that happened. And we were actually booing Deion Sanders for his rain dance.
Oh yeah.
At the time,
Yeah.
But Philadelphia, wear it like a badge.
2-0 to Cruz, by the way.
Wear it
guys
like a
at first.
badge.
Who
Beautiful sights here
single? Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
at Rowan
And
University.
here come the napkins. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Yeah. There's a strike call. So it's now 2-1.
Spring is busting out all over.
It certainly is. And fortunately, we're behind this little thing right here. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's just bursting. I mean, it's just
It is.
absolutely bursting, that sunshine coming out here. 2-1 with McIsaac at first. Nobody out. He's going. Hit and run, so they're not going to get the double play. And it went right under Backo's glove. So now they don't get anybody. And the Profs have their first 2 on here in the fourth.
Talk about mistakes. That's where you said a little hit and run that was on. If he did field that cleanly, he did not have a play at second, so they would have had a runner in scoring position regardless. But now with the error, now the Profs again putting themselves in a position to score some more runs and trying to extend this 5-1 lead here at the top of the fourth inning.
Another visit to the mound, and again, we're going to go back to our point, do or die, right?
Well, at this point,
make a move or
at this
not?
point, you have to make the moves that get you to the next inning. I mean, you're actually managing one inning at a time here if you're William Paterson.
So Matt Lawler's day is over. Another move to the bullpen for the Pioneers. Lawler goes 2 innings.
You're going to
Gave
send
up
me
2,
copies of that, right?
And he is responsible for the 2 runners on base as we wait to see who the new pitcher is. Let's see. Is that a number 1?
Number 7, I believe.
It could be a 7. That's an outfielder. Unless I have that wrong. So we'll find out who it is. It is a 7. Okay. Well, the 7 I have for William Paterson, Adrian Alarcon. Let's refer to our pronunciation guide so we get it right. In any event, that is
Adrian Alarcon.
Okay, you're right. Adrian Alarcon. All right. He is the new pitcher for the Pioneers, and he's in the spot for the Profs with 2 on and nobody out here in the top of the fourth. This is the Njac Championship Series on BFA Sports. Chris Losey, Brian Startari, and our crew here. Again, we want to send our best wishes along to the entire Hensley family. The tragic loss of their son, Tyler, earlier this week. The services are tonight. That's where Doug, Missy, his wife, and the boys are. So a tough situation, and our hearts go out to that family and look for some strength and all you can do.
Certainly, more important things than baseball or sports at this time. Absolutely.
Absolutely is right. I mean, it's just it's just so sad. Just so sad. 20 years old, you're not supposed to be leaving us.
Being a parent, and we always say that no parent ever should have to go through that.
Yeah, exactly.
And we should never have to worry about that. So our condolences as well.
And our hearts go out to the Hensley family, and of course, and also to Doug and Missy Stasic, who are, I guess they were like a pseudo parents to this kid too. So it's really, really sad. And I won't mention the businessman, but there was a businessman in Vineland.
Business person.
No, he was a businessman.
Okay.
Yeah, and he actually reached out to the family and said, whatever they don't pay for, I'll pay for.
That's great.
Didn't even know him.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's always times where you recognize that it gives you faith in humanity, and it's a shame that it has to happen in times of despair and tragedy, but at least it shows through. So, again,
indeed,
our condolences as well.
Indeed.
Kind of a tough transition.
The left-hander.
I'm trying to look here, Chris, at some pitching, and I don't see
Put your glasses on.
any statistics from Alarcon. He's listed obviously as a 5'11" junior outfielder from Belleville, New Jersey, but I don't see in the pitching statistics of any prior innings.
Well, we can only go by what we see.
And we just had said that we are managing here from the hip, from inning to inning, and I guess this is exactly what William Paterson is doing.
Absolutely. Nobody out, 2 on here in the 4th. Profs have 5-1 lead.
But at this level,
Focus.
I would tell you that the position player coming in to pitch has a better chance of performing at a higher level than the major league outfielders who get on the mound and get smoked on a nightly basis.
Smoked. That wasn't a little subjective, was it? They can't beat Miami. Okay. 1-0 pitch. That's inside. It's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes.
I'm looking to the right over here at the Rowan Radio, WGLS-FM. I spent 3.5 years there doing what they're doing right now. Good to see the kids getting in action there.
Did you get their names? Because we want to get their names.
I believe it's Kayla and Dave, I believe, is the caller. But Kayla's doing a great job. She's the lead play-by-play person there. As another baseball come firing at us here in the booth.
Cocos was on the way. 2 balls and 1 strike. We warned you folks that this was going to be like this, so,
I mean,
right?
Brilliant sunshine? Brilliant?
No. You know what I mean.
Oh.
We warned you. What are you doing now?
Oh. I'm just sitting back watching a game. What do you want me to do?
There's a list here I want you to do.
Because you're eating.
Strike. Absolutely. The 2-1 gets through Habib. Runners are going to move up.
So now 2nd and 3rd now for the Profs. Still nobody out here, Chris, and with Alcantara on the mound here, and no one out. This is the chance for a big inning here for Rowan and bust it wide open.
Similar to the 6th spot in the 5th inning of Game 1. That game was scoreless into the bottom of the 5th, and as a matter of fact,
really?
It bears repeating. William Paterson had the bases loaded, nobody out, and Drew Ryback got out of that jam, the lefty starter for Rowan. Swing and a miss by Cocos on the 3-1. It's now a full count.
And you talk about missed opportunities, obviously looking back, and especially with the roster that they're juggling right now with William Paterson. I mean, this is a chance for Rowan to really put some space between them. And that's what happens when you don't take advantage of those opportunities earlier in the game.
3-2 to Cocos. That's hit into left field. Dean's coming over. He'll make the catch. No advance. Runners go back. That's the first out here of the 4th inning. Alarcon gets an out of the bullpen.
But the run comes across. with a sack fly. And
I missed. That's right. Thank
you
you.
did. So it's 6-1.
You know why? Because they advanced on the wild pitch. Not those are first and second.
Well, listen,
I've got this thing in front of me. I can't see anything.
It's called a baseball game.
No, this.
Oh,
what's this?
Sack fly comes in.
It's a monitor.
So they do trade the out.
6-1.
They do trade the run for the out, but it's 6-1 Profs now. And looking to do some more damage now with a man on second here with 1 out.
I don't think, did those chairs move? I don't know if they moved up there. Because I could see in the first game. Then again, though, people say as an umpire I can't see anything anyway. So sacrifice fly, it is 6-1 like Brian mentioned. There's 1 out.
I'm just here to help, Chris.
Somebody's got it. Ryan Murphy. Plate. Goodness gracious. Oh, boy.
Well, if you took your snot out of that sandwich and watched the game a little bit, you'd be all right.
Oh, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I hate to say it's that big pole in front of me, and I didn't see a runner at third. Thanks for fixing my collar.
No problem, pal.
Yeah. It's 2-0. Andrea's calling me. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
What time are you coming home? I can't believe you're not coming for drinks Sunday night.
Listen, it's nothing like a Friday night invitation. I appreciate it.
95 Sunday. Unreal.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-0. Murphy.
Jesus.
Fouls it back.
Another one straight back. Thank God for chain link fences.
That's a pole.
Yeah, whatever. I'm glad it's there. He's seen a pole before.
We got a following.
Yeah, we do.
It's all over now. 2 balls, 1 strike. With 1 out and a run in.
I love being right into the media and the fans and everyone else right here. It's like a big party.
Here in the 4th. Now the 2-1 pitch. Another foul back.
Another one.
Are you afraid?
I'm not afraid. I'm just I'm glad that we're situated right here, but there have been quite a number.
A plethora.
A myriad of foul balls behind the plate.
Oh, God. This might be the most we've ever done something like, with a microphone. Seriously. We're in 4 innings now. We're over an hour. No, more than an hour, yeah. 2-2 to Murphy with 1 out.
He went.
Chase that.
He did.
He's a strikeout victim. That's the 2nd out of the inning.
Kind of like accidentally on purpose there. If you're going to swing through.
So to bring up Schooley, the shortstop, on base twice here in this. They call it the nightcap. Can you call it a nightcap if the sun's out?
Well, it's not the twilight doubleheader because it began early in the day. But you can call it the nightcap.
You can call it the nightcap?
Because the game will end past 6 o'clock. So it'll be the nightcap there. Right, David?
And you went and looked at his phone that this game might end about 9:15.
Well, the first hour, I think the first game was timed at 4 hours and 13 minutes.
It was bad.
Been a long day here for friends and family alike here, rooting on their kids. Can't believe we're here calling college people kids at our age. But that's exactly what we're doing.
1 strike to Schooley. 2 strikes to Schooley.
Now this is interesting. Schooley being on the left side, being a left-hander, facing the left-hander on the mound here. He's throwing him a lot of inside stuff here. So it'd be interesting to see if he lays back a little bit and tries to work this count. He is jamming him inside.
0-2 pitch coming. That's in the dirt.
There he goes.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
So we can now see the monitor.
Yes, that
helps a lot when you can see the game.
That's pretty good. You could take your sunglasses off. No, never mind. Leave them on.
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah, I would put them back on. You look cool.
He's got some serious lineage, though, in the music industry. Tell me who your uncle is.
Who's your uncle?
Huh?
What do you mean?
Tell you in a second. 1-2. Schooley fouls it off. Oh, wait, aren't you related in some way to the Geeter?
No.
The Geeter with the heater, the boss with the special sauce? Oh, you work for Jerry Blavitt.
I'm teasing.
Okay.
The score is 6-1, by the way. What's the problem is that the scoreboard, it's not David's fault. The scoreboard application is hot. And
it's overheating,
down.
huh?
But if we can get there, it's 6-1. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Schooley with Cruz at second. Eventually it's coming. Schooley sprays that foul.
Looks like you throw him another slider there, Chris. Trying to keep him down and low here. I don't think he wants to keep it in his wheelhouse here because he knows Schooley can pull the ball, obviously, and be on that left side of the plate. And
look at the defensive lineup, too. Look at the outfield. Big gap there.
Right.
Big gap. They're not playing him to pull at all.
Which is
right field to center field. Huge gap.
Which is counterintuitive here.
1-2.
In the dirt.
That misses. Well, yeah, I mean, the school of thought is if you're going to play him the opposite way, you have to pitch him the opposite way,
right,
too.
and he's pitching him inside, so if he gets around on one.
Exactly. He can run for a long time.
More than I can.
Cruz is at second. And it's a 2-2 from Alarcon. It's fouled away again, and that is number 11 on the pitches at this at bat. This will be 12.
This is a battle.
Njac Championship Series live on BFA. Chris Losey, Brian Startari, and the crew here. That's not my water. This is my water.
This is my water.
Alrighty. Another 2-2 from Alarcon.
He fights it off again.
Left side. Back O'Can can catch up to it, and we'll have another 2-2 pitch, which would be the 13th of this at bat. Whose keys are these? These your keys?
They are my keys.
Wow, it's a lot of keys.
Well, do you want me to explain all the keys that I have?
No, this is the only one that matters right here.
The bottle opener.
Actually, I believe it's got a new name in our house now. The church key.
The church key is another thing.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 6-1 is the score. Pitch number 13 of the at-bat to Schooley. And he smokes it into center field. Deidre Alamo back on it, though. Eyes it up, makes the catch. That'll end the inning. A run for Rowan in the 4th. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th at 6-1 Profs on BFA.
Second baseman, Colin Lombardo.
So, to the bottom of the 4th we go here in our Njac Championship Series. Game number 2, Rowan up 1-0 in games. They're up 6-1 here. And it'll be 7, 8, and 9. Colin Lombardo, Frankie Dean, and David Backow. To face the left base still, Eli Atia from Cherry Hill West. Missed with that one. 1 ball, no strikes.
I was just going to say that.
You know what? I know you did, and I beat you to it.
Here's the wind-up by Atia. High for a ball, 2-0. Haven't done play-by-play in about 30 years.
Ever?
Chris. Well, I did it in college. I never did it on the pro level, 2-0. That ball's in there for a strike. It's 2-1 to Colin Lombardo. Rowan leads 6-1 here, bottom of the 4th here. It's high for a ball, 3-1. William Paterson looking to get something going here, Chris. They need to start now, down 5 runs, almost halfway through the ballgame.
Well, and it certainly would start with getting on base.
He's not the best color man in the league for nothing, folks. That ball's in there for a strike. Now the count has run full to Lombardo. High pop-up, going backward. Shortstop has a beat on it. Squeezes, and out number 1. Nick Schooley with the catch. And Rowan records out number 1. That'll bring up Frankie Dean for William Paterson.
Every time I hear that name, I think like it's like they're movie stars.
He does sound like the Rat Pack or something, right?
Yeah,
Like, hey, Frankie Dean, how are you?
That's his stage name.
Yeah, he does. It's Frankie Dean.
Yeah.
It is a cool name. All right, well, Dean steps in. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Atia ready. A little high for a ball, 1-0. As Dean, the left fielder for William Paterson, tries to get something going here for the Pioneers. He checks his swing a little high, 2-0.
See, what I could be doing here is I could be going back to that Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John, you want to go back to the Sambo?
Yeah, but no, I don't.
Listen, I can handle this.
No, no, you're the pro.
He throws a strike there to you, and now it's 2-1.
You know, not after H though today.
Yeah, the shadows are coming in the left side. That thing was fouled off directly behind the plate again. And no matter how many chain link fences and poles, anything, you're still going to move your head thinking that ball's going to hit you smack in the face. 2-2. 2-2 to Frankie Dean. Again. Thank God for small favors. Frankie Schwartz is like Freddie Schwartz. Frankie's his brother, right? That's right.
Oh, no.
All right, Tia gets the sign.
Oh, good God.
He looks in. The 2-2 pitch. Low for a ball. The count is run full.
A lot of deep counts by T.
Having a good time here, Chris.
Oh, are you kidding? Not as good as the one night. It's all right.
High fly ball back out of play. Another souvenir for a fan. And he wastes another one. And the count remains full to Frankie Dean. 6-1 Profs here. Bottom of the 4th inning. Profs won game 1. Chris, 12-4. They are now just 1 game away from being the Njac champions for 2021.
Reminder, too, Commissioner Terry Small is going to join us. He's in attendance probably when you leave.
Great. I'll be having tacos. Frankie Dean fouls one back.
When
Count
are you
remains
leaving?
full. Very soon. I'm grumbling. It's date night.
Yes, you know. Some make an impact by their arrival.
Oh, a called third strike. Dean thought he had an outside, ran up the first baseline, but Bill Rush had other plans and calls the called third strike. That's got to be a high for an umpire to do the old called third strike. But sometimes you get accused of showing up the batter. Have you ever been accused of that?
I haven't, and I'll tell you why. Because when I did during the strike, I did the minor leagues in 06.
David Bacco at the plate for William Paterson.
Yeah, and I learned that when they know that they know it's a strike 3, they just walk away. I don't even say anything. I just,
Yeah.
usually say pull the chain.
0-2, another one for Atia, right down the middle. And now it's 0-2. The crowd anticipates a 1-2-3 inning here for the Profs as Atia winds and gets ready for the 0-2 pitch. Just outside as Bacco takes a ball. 1-2.
Being at the bottom of the lineup, I mean, and this you already turned over the lineup. Kokas.
He makes the play at second, and the Tide will be retired. 1-2-3 go William Paterson in the bottom of the 4th inning. With your score, Rowan 6, William Paterson 1. You're listening or watching the BFA Network.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, well, listen, I got to get out of here, folks.
Brian Startari, always a pleasure, my friend.
It was very enjoyable
and just
to sit
remember
here.
the words of my fiance.
Don't do it?
If you do not, yeah, that too. If you do not come for drinks, you do not come to the wedding.
Well, listen, that'll save me $80. All right, listen, I'm going to get the headset to Dr. John Giannitti, the athletic director here at Rowan, and I'll say goodbye to you folks.
This is going to be a treat. Dr.
See you, Johnny.
Dr. John Giannitti. It is.
Just making sure.
Not many people would say something like that. A boy.
No, I just want to make sure I'm not
just
being
kidding. I'm only kidding you. And look at this. He takes a sandwich to go and everything. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Well, Profs are in good shape.
They are in good shape. So we are joined. Hang on a second here. All right, so we got 6-1. First off, what are your impressions of this baseball team?
You know, I thought they could be special early in the year for two reasons. Number one, you could just see the talent. They were better than a lot of people they played. And number two, I think they're consistent. I think they're focused. I've seen teams come in here yelling and screaming a lot, really emotional, trying to knock us off, and Rowan's always responded with poise. So I think they're good physically and mentally.
The second, Lombardo. That's one out. Good defense, too. Mike Dixon, I've known him a long time. And what I really admire about him, I mean, he has his guys compete, whether they're up 9, whether they're down 9. I mean, they're hitting and running up by 8 and bunting. It's good to see.
So they have, for lack of a better term, a big-time mentality. I mean, he runs it like a major league or Division I team. He makes sure they're disciplined on and off the field. He makes sure they're professional, unselfish, and I just think their approach is outstanding in everything they do.
Saw Mike Rucci back there, another longtime friend. I umpired Mike in 3 different levels of baseball, grade school, high school, and college. Comes from a great family, so I know, Mr. Rucci, if you're watching, there's a fly ball to shallow center or right. It'll be Yellen with the catch, and that's 2 quick outs here in the 5th. You know, you're good luck. Stay here.
Well, listen, they haven't needed a lot of good. I mean, they were 17-1 regular season, and they're top 10 in the country, so they're pretty good with or without me, for sure.
All right, so now let's go more from 30,000 feet up on the widescreen. So the Rowan program, it's across the board. Rumors were there was a possibility of entering into D1. What can you say about that? Anything? Or?
Well, there's nothing serious right now, but I understand the question. We have 19,000 students. We're a national university in U.S. News and World Report, a top 200 national university. We're a Carnegie Research Institution. We give a bunch of doctoral degrees. So, yeah, demographically, we're very similar to a lot of mid-Division I schools. Now, the facilities is an issue. Philosophy is an issue. Obviously, when you go Division I, you change the philosophy of your athletic program. In Division III, the philosophy is it's part of your education. We both know in Division I, there's a lot of business.
Absolutely.
You know, the pure fun part of it is a little lost. So there's some philosophy, there's facility issues. But could this university support a Division I program? Absolutely, but a lot of things would have to change. And right now, the Division I transition, as we get a walk over there, is 8 to 10 years.
Well done. That was pretty good.
Yeah, listen, they
midstream there.
They let me talk about basketball on TV the last couple of years. I want to do more of your job.
You're going to do it.
You say that like you haven't heard good things. It's like I heard.
Marks for the walk, and Trip McCaffrey, who it's good to see him in a uniform too.
Yeah, he's coming off that concussion that looked like it could have been even more bad news than as bad as a concussion is. Great to see him back out.
Freddie Schwartz, when he said to me, Chris, that was one of the worst collisions I've ever seen on a baseball field, and he's been around.
So shout out to our trainer, Colleen Grugan, who I got to see in action on that, who was amazing. A foul ball. Who was amazing, just keeping Trip alert, just peppering him with questions, making sure his mind wouldn't wander, and just helping him manage everything he was going through. As good as she was with the physical steps she was going through, she was even better mentally. So, Yeah, we got a lot of Coach Dixon, Colleen Grugan. We got a lot of big-time people here, including our live streaming crew.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We appreciate that one.
Yeah.
That's really good. There's a bunt try from McCaffrey. Fouls it back. So 1-2, 2 outs. Rowan with a runner at first, and they're up 6-1 in the, we're going to call it a nightcap of the Njac Championship doubleheader. They took the first one 12-4. And you're looking at, for William Paterson, they came into this one. I mean, it was only logical that they would meet because they took care of TCNJ also in 2 straight. Question was, would this facility be ready for today? And how did that decision come to be?
Well, it was a pretty easy decision. Well, let's see what happens here.
Now that a step on the bag from Ferrara, so that'll end the inning. So we're going to stay here, David. So we have nothing for the Profs in the 5th. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 6-1. So we're still here with Dr. G. And please continue.
The facility
Go ahead.
thing. So
yeah, sure.
It is a concern because you just have commencement, and there's some traffic on the field. But the way we hold commencement, this is where you would be staging people. So basically, our facilities people, led by Kevin Muldoon, and in our department, Gabby Lasella, they fixed divots, they rolled it, they got everything watered, and they got it in shape. And a couple days ago, we got a text from Coach Nafee, hey, field looks like it's in great shape. And,
Really?
And Gabby Lasella, of course, she understood the concern, but she had been talking with facilities and Kevin Muldoon, and they had a plan on how to get the field in shape, and they really weren't nervous. We, if you're not in facilities, you look at it and you're hoping, okay, can we fix all this in time?
Right.
But they knew they could, and they did it.
So I'm looking for a picture that when you see it, you won't believe it. It's one of the Rowan brethren who retired. So there's a hint. I'll have to find it first. No, I got to find it first. I got to hide it first. I got to find it. It's got to be a surprise.
Okay.
I will find it and I'll let you know. But in the meantime, what is it like? Obviously, the experience you've had at LaSalle. You know what? Let's talk about LaSalle. David Miller.
Oh.
I've known David a long time.
Yes.
And 32 wins, a school record. That's just phenomenal effort. Phenomenal.
So, yeah, David Miller, former Clemson great baseball player, and I believe a first-round draft choice
That's
in
correct.
the majors. And he's the baseball coach at LaSalle. They just won 30-plus games, second-best season in school history. And it was a Disney movie-type season because they got bad news before the season that they were going to eliminate the sport of baseball.
Right.
And then the team goes on and has one of the best seasons in school history. Obviously, the baseball alumni want to try to save the sport. But with Dave's success and reputation, I just see – I know he wants to stay at LaSalle, but this is a guy that someone will snap up. I mean, to win 30-plus games at a program in that situation is amazing.
DiGirolamo third. Cruz throws him out, and then DiDomenico is down. Looks like he caught it on the arm there. So we have another entry to go along with Bobiak in the last game. Did you get any word on Bobiak by any chance?
I don't know how much I'm supposed to say, but what
upper body, lower body, that's it. There you go.
Colleen took, put it this way, nothing was conclusive, and she's getting more information, but nothing was conclusive last time we spoke.
I would just say upper body, lower body. You're fine with that. Yeah.
It's actually mid-body. Is there such a thing?
No, below the waist, above the waist.
It's a mid-body. Yeah, you haven't heard that one before.
No,
right?
but I got to find this picture.
Yeah.
You're going to die when you see this picture. In the meantime, they're still looking at. I'll let you. I'll know. I haven't had it yet. I know it was in June somewhere.
You have so many famous family and
Not
friends.
at all.
You can't even find the photo because you have like thousands of them on there.
That's terrible. No,
Great seeing them walk off the field.
Absolutely.
Or staying on the field, I should say.
So now the call, and Nick Moll is hearing it from the William Paterson side. Mike Lauterhahn, who had a problem in the first game, I think, and he still has his say. You never did that, did you? You never had a Give a problem to an official, did you?
As a basketball coach, I always wish I could have kicked dirt on him. I like when the baseball coaches kick dirt on an umpire. Like,
No more.
can't do that in basketball.
You did it in baseball either. I'll run you.
Shortstop, Ferraro.
Oh, boy. All right. So I'll give you a hint. Who retired from here?
Joe Cassidy.
Okay.
Did I nail it?
You did, but you didn't get the picture, so I got to get
That's
the picture.
because Joe's a big deal. That's when you say, hey, someone who's a big deal just retired. Of course it's Joe Cassidy.
Dear friend of mine.
One of the winningest prof coaches in history.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding assistant coach at Drexel. Helped get him to the NCAA tournament under Eddie Burke. And I, with zero false humility and complete honesty, we don't win a national championship or go to 3 Final Fours without Joe Cassidy's recruiting and mentoring of me. We were really more like co-head coaches, and he's godfather to my oldest and was just down with us in South Carolina for my oldest wedding.
That's
so
great.
Joe and Betty Ann are unbelievable godparents, great coach, great person. And
how's he doing, by the way?
He's doing pretty well. Now tell me about your history with Joe.
Oh, I've been a college baseball umpire for 23 years.
Wow.
And Joe and I go way back from because I'm a South Philly boy.
Yeah.
And being a part of that group, we started doing high school ball together. And I'm going to ruin the surprise because I can't find the picture, but I will find it. Joe Cassidy, to this day, is the only umpire at this level that uses an outside protector.
Didn't know that.
Straight up in the air, the Domenico gets it in foul ground. That's the second out of the inning.
Well, Joe is, and he'll say this proudly.
I got to find this. Go ahead.
He'll say this proudly. He is as old school as it comes.
Okay. I'm going to try something here. Chester, right?
Catcher Dylan
Because that's
Habib.
Widener is considered in Chester, correct?
Yep.
All right. Let's see if we have any pictures from. Bingo.
He's calling a strike coming out of the car.
No, because I said to him, please, you've got to take this picture. Look at this.
Oh, my gosh. He's hamming it up.
David, can you go to this one, please, real quick?
Now, that is not like Joe Cassidy. He's hamming it up.
Yeah, there you go. This right. Oh, the glare's awful. Can you see? Oh, well, we'll get to it again. The tee is pitched to Habib has popped up to short. Schooley's got it. We'll come back. We'll reminisce more about Joe Cassidy. We're going to the 6th inning. It's 6-1 Rowan here in the nightcap of the Njac Championship Series here on PFA. So we got one more inning with the great Dr. John Giannini. And we were talking about LaSalle. We didn't mention Bill Bradshaw. So there's a guy that bounced around a little bit at the higher level, right? So he was at Temple when my good friend John McArdle and Skip Wilson ran the baseball program. If you remember, of course, Skippy.
Well, here's first. Bill, very accomplished, has hired so many great coaches like Don Staley and all those. And no one thought Temple could win at football, and all of a sudden they're winning in football. And that was mostly Bill. But here's the problem when you're a basketball coach and you don't have great facilities and your day D's a baseball guy. So our gym would be freezing. Oh,
that's McIsaac to left field. Frankie Dean makes the catch. It's the first out of the inning.
So I'm complaining to him that we can't practice. It's like 50 degrees in there, and our kids are going to pull muscles, and it's just not right. And his response is, I played baseball in Buffalo for Niagara, and I've played baseball in 20-degree weather. If I could do that, you could practice in 50 degrees. So I did not get a lot of sympathy with those kind of situations.
Right. Saw him, I think, well, John McGardle and I used to go to many of the Temple football games, and being an alum on the baseball side. And there would always be this little, shall we say, social get-together at one of those buses that were parked outside Lincoln Financial.
Bill is...
Him and his stogie.
Bill is in NACDA, which is the Professional Group for Athletic Directors Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure he's in a happy hour Hall of Fame somewhere, too.
Victor Cruz, the batter, on base 3 times here in the second.
And I'm not sure which of the two he's more proud of.
Yeah. That pitch just missed.
So many of these, Cruz and Murphy and Kokis, I mean, so many, and I know I'm leaving out a ton, but they've just had so many players have great years. And, you know, I'm not a baseball guy, but they say when multiple guys are having personal best years or career-type years, that's when you can really make a run. And these guys have just been Murphy was phenomenal in the games at Atlantic City last week, as you saw.
Yes, yes. Did you watch those streams? Did you watch copies of those?
Well, I was there in person, but I got, in all seriousness, countless positive comments about how much people enjoyed your broadcast.
Thank you. Well, it's all Doug Stasic, by the way, has been he's our leader, and he has the vision to really turn this thing into a gigantic, almost cornering the market thing, and he's been doing a fantastic job.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love what you guys do.
Thank you. And I will share with you a video, actually, where they did a high school game. It was a tournament game, and I was on the plate. You want to have some fun? Watch a couple innings of that, because they destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. Cruz walks, by the way. It was great. 1 ball, no strikes.
Oh, listen, what you do, that umpiring or officiating and that is not for the meek of heart.
This might be 2 from Lombardo, Ferrara, and they turn that double play. 4-6-3 ends the inning. 1 more half with the great Dr. Giannini. We'll be back here on BFA. It's 6-1 Rowan. David, go ahead. That's fine. So we're trying to reminisce and find out who I had at Bodine High School, which is where I went to school. By the way, I graduated class of '87, so if that helps you find out what that player was. Bottom of the sixth now for William Paterson, trailing 6-1. And Steve Yellen leads off the right fielder. He'll be followed by DH Dan Carter and Carson Weiss. So it's great to see, first of all, these people. There's a fly ball in the center field. McCaffrey makes the catch. And again, let's put a button on that one, too, McCaffrey, the fact that he had an unbelievably scary injury, and now he's back on the field, and that makes Mike Dixon very happy, I'm sure.
So great, and especially with the injury again last game, further depleting our outfield. So it's great with the loss from the last game due to injury with bringing Tripp back. And that's another good sign of a team, just depth. A lot of times you say next man up, but some teams, that next man isn't a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
When we say next man up, you trade an apple for an apple, one good player for another.
Sure. Carter chases that one. He's in the hole, 2 strikes from Attia, who settled down after a little jam he had in the second inning.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Why are lefties harder to hit for righties than righties?
Why are lefties? Because the ball tails away from them.
Okay.
And that's why you're talking about the pitching change when they'll bring in a lefty to face a lefty? Because watch Bryce Harper.
Just in general, everyone says they want lefty pitchers, that
Sure.
They're so coveted. Why are they so coveted?
I hit Carter in the batter's box. Foul ball. Well, coveted for a number of reasons. Number one, it's more difficult to pick up the ball. You're not used to it.
Okay.
That's number one. But more importantly, again, number two, the lefty-on-lefty matchup is what you want. A lot of coaches, him in particular, sometimes will load the lineup up with lefties if they're facing a righty and vice versa. When you get into the major leagues, when they do the situational substitutions, they'll bring in a lefty to face a lefty. It's for that reason.
Wow. So you want righties out against righties.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely. 1-2 is in the dirt, 2-2. How about another one? Ask me another one.
The doubleheader thing, you got to get the games in because of weather. But you think of other sports, like no one would play 2 games in a row. So the endurance test, I think, is fascinating.
There's a base hit the left for Carter. He's got 2 hits today. And he's aboard with 1 out here in the Pioneer 6th.
I got another weird one. So we had an infield fly rule in the first game.
Right.
I think it would be more exciting if they let the ball drop and go for the double play. I know it's such a tradition-driven game, but...
So what does infield fly mean, though? It means it protects the offense because the defense can't do that. So even if he fakes it and if he drops it, the batter's still out.
I know that.
Yeah.
I think they should be able to go for a double play. And my other things would be to speed the game up. Relief pitchers, you warm up in the bullpen, come out throwing, don't let them warm up. Also, after an out, why do you have to go around the horn? Why do you have to play catch? Just get it back to the pitcher and play.
It's funny.
And
Weiss back to second. Kokas, and they double up Carter, and they get out of it.
They're ruining my baseball broadcast premiere. They're kicking me off too soon with their defensive efficiency. We'll do a half.
All right, we'll do a half.
They were too good.
End of 6. 6-1 Rowan on BFA. Okay.
Right fielder.
We go to the top of the 7th here in Rowan. This is the second game of the Njac Championship Series. Rowan taking the first one 12-4. They lead here in the nightcap 6-1. Chris Losey with the Dr. John Giannini. Of course, Sal had basketball coach, and now he has a little job here at Rowan.
Yeah, I enjoy being athletic director. I'm lucky to do it, lucky to have such great coaches, and to, again, our teams are terrific. And I see it pointing to Marie Wozniak,
absolutely.
Associate Athletic Director for Communications, that we got from her storied career at St. Joe's in the Big Five, and leading all the media hysteria around Phil Martelli's undefeated #1 ranked St. Joe's team that Marie helped navigate all that good, wonderful chaos. So, yeah, I've known Marie for years, and again, she's just one of the stars we've got here at Rowan.
Crushed the left, but just foul. That's Ryan Murphy, and at 6'7", Doc, he can hit him a long way.
Yeah,
were you in Atlantic City last week?
Yeah, I was there.
Like the ball he hit that almost went to the bay?
Big time. Big time.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Division I baseball does not fully give a scholarship to every player out there. So not surprisingly, I mean, a kid like Murphy is clearly a big-time talent. So I think the gap between an elite, top 10 Division III team like us and most Division I teams is not as great as you would see in a sport like basketball, where those full scholarships just snap up all the top players. But this is high-level baseball here, and Murphy's a big-time player.
The 3-1 to second. Look at that play by Lombardo, but he's got to hurry on the bounce, and the call is out.
So that was a big-time defensive play, and again, because of the fact that I think really good talent is more spread out in baseball, I think the talent I've seen in the Njac, even though Rowan's got a dominant record and is poised to win this championship, man, I see some great baseball plays in these Njac games, and that was spectacular by William Paterson.
I think this part of the country, as with one out, Schooley is up, this part of the country probably has two of the best conferences for athletics in different numbers. For example, the Division III conference is the Njac by far. Division II, PSAC is very, very good.
Right.
Very good. I mean, their baseball program, Westchester, had 2 national championships. Millersville was in it a couple of years. East Stroud went pretty far. And football, I actually was fortunate enough to officiate some PSAC football games as well. I mean, it's top notch. It's really, really good.
So when I talk to people, about this assumption that, well, Division I must be better, I say, listen, there's a lot of overlap. Well, my last team at Rowan scrimmaged a well-known Division I team. We beat them by 19. So the point is that there's great teams in Division III and II. There's players and teams that could compete at the Division I level. The elite ones certainly can. That you just mentioned, those PSAC teams, and certainly this Rowan team.
Just amazing. And again, the state-funded schools, we're talking about in Pennsylvania, on the PSAC side, they continue to struggle every year. Enrollment, that's off the glove of Alarcan. Fielded Lombardo, and it's a bad throw, but it's in time as Weiss holds the bag.
The
2 outs.
First baseman there, Weiss, has just made 2 heck of a plays. Like you said, that throw wasn't good, and he managed to not get pulled off the bag.
That's a pole. That's in the way. That's a private joke, everybody.
No, we heard it earlier.
Oh, Brian.
We overheard you. Was it you guys off the air on
Brian.
That one?
No, it's Brian. No, we don't do much off the air.
Brian Statar is one of the funniest guys I know.
He's ducking for balls. I think there's a fence there.
He didn't smoke his cigar during the broadcast, does he?
No, but he does when he comes over.
Cigar.
When he comes over, he does. He has to go outside, though. Yeah. Hi, Marie. 1 ball, no strikes. As soon as the name Startari comes up, there's his bodyguard right there, making sure.
Nothing but love.
Yeah, right. 2-0 to Mastrangeli, who plays a really good left field, by the way. And if you see his father, tell him I apologize, because it's really the Italian way. There you go, John Mastrangeli.
Yeah.
No, they want Mastrangeli.
That's great.
Yeah, okay, but it's Mastrangeli. You know that.
Oh,
right?
I see now.
And here's the second one. the pitcher for Kane last week. It wasn't Lojudas, it was Lojudis.
Good stuff, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
Can you speak Italian?
Not at all. The only Italian I knew was my grandfather spoke broken English. It was so funny.
And one or two bad words, I'm sure.
Yeah,
that you learn.
we omit those. By the way, it's a 3-1 count to Master and Jelly. No, I'm serious. I hope he gets on here. Here we go. All right, so my grandfather says to me one day, he says, Cristi, vente qua, called me over. But then instead, give me Stingy Light. Stingy Light. So I look over, and I'm 5 years old. I go over, I see Grandmom. Grandmom says, what's the matter, Grandma? I says, Grandpa want me to get Stingy Light. Go downstairs and get Stingy Light for Grandpa. I go over to my father. Here's a walk. Go over to my father and said, Dad, you're not going to believe this. He says, go downstairs and get Grandpa the black extension cord.
Oh, extension light. That's good. That's good. Extension light.
Extension light, right. So they made up their own thing.
That's good.
Yeah, good. We got a pitching change. We can stick around a little longer. Do you remember, oh my goodness. I don't know, did you ever, any family that put the basil in the garden, they grew the basil?
Yeah.
All right, vase in the goal.
See,
Basil in the garden.
So my dad. That's good.
There you go. And you're supposed to go, yeah, that's it, right.
So my dad came here from the old country, but
so you're first generation?
Yeah, married an American woman, but I was always envious because all my cousins could speak Italian because my dad's siblings married other Italians, so they spoke it in the house. So I always was, frustrated. I never picked it up the way my cousins did.
Paul Warburton, by the way, is the new pitcher for the Pioneers. That's the fifth pitcher used in this nightcap in a 6-1 game, and I guess, Mike Lauderhan, he's got to keep it close here. So go ahead, continue, please.
Anything can happen, but I mean the profs have just been the profs have been so consistent. Again, really throughout this year, they really, even early in the year, they had those 2 1-1 losses. I think one at Salisbury, one at Penn State Abington, but they've been super consistent all year.
So, by the way, while we have this opportunity, we want to thank you, your entire staff, for making this happen with us. I mean, it's been a tremendous success.
Well, we enjoy it, and it's because of the relationship that you have with Marie Wozniak, and I know our fans are enjoying it. So we're really grateful to have you on this. And don't let Marie tease you about, or Dan Drutz about, here's the talent in quotes. I do think
you saw that.
I do think you're talented.
You saw that. Well, we got one.
I'm not putting any quotes around your broadcasting talent.
Well, we saw one. It's funny too because you're not a Facebook guy, are you?
No, I'm anti-social media.
Yeah.
I'm almost
Smart.
like Joe Cassidy that way.
Oh my God! No,
I didn't need to find out how many people didn't like me on social media. I already knew.
Joe's way worse than you. I'm sorry. No, Joe's way worse than you. He's still I think a pad and pencil guy, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Warburton, the new pitcher, he comes into a spot and he throws a pickoff attempt. Master and Jelly gets back. He walked, by the way. 2 outs. He's a base runner. 6-1 the score here at a nightcap on BFA Sports. Rowan trying to close out the Njac championship. By the way, you were relief pitcher behind you, right? There he is, Commissioner Terry Small of the Njac Conference. Yep.
You keep going up. Pretty soon you'll have university president on here, AD, commissioner. What's next after that?
But we like to call that a warm transfer, so you don't leave. He's going to come over. Yeah, we're going to have a little fun.
Keep the seat warm.
We're going to have a little fun on the stretch. Just as the sun peers down on the screen. 1 strike pitch is low. It's a ball and a strike.
What an idyllic day, right?
Gorgeous day. Again, we kind of got off topic there, but the facility to get ready.
Yep.
Because Mike said, I texted him, where's the game? Where's the game? Where's the game? And he said, it's at our place. So I remember Saturday after the doubleheader, he said, we don't know yet. I got to see the field. And I said, if you have your way, where would you want it? And he said here.
Oh, of course. You always want to be on your home field. And in all honesty, I mean, coaches are nervous. You know that. But our facilities people, they always knew that they'd be able to get it in shape. And they obviously did a great job. And Mike was really pleased when he saw the work that was done.
You like this?
Ooh,
Inbox there.
yeah.
That's Mushroom Jelly. It's
my goodness.
first. Fouled away. So you're not like Brian, so you're not afraid of a baseball. Especially with a fence and a pole in front of you.
He's a little jumpy, huh?
Yeah, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's very jumpy.
You know, I see Brian's athleticism every week. He's
Where?
He's in a bocce league with me at St. Anthony's Italian Club.
He told me you're good with the Bellini.
Yeah, and bocce might be the right sport for his level of athleticism too.
Into the air and right. Yellen makes the catch, and the inning is over. So Warburton comes in and gets him out of the jam. Stretch time here at Rowan. Dave, we're going to stay right here. It is 6-1 Rowan here on BFA, and if we could call the commissioner over, who's let's see. Here he comes. I'm going to signal for the righty. Are you a righty or are you a lefty?
That was fun. Thank you very much, Chris.
My pleasure.
For all
It's
you
great
do,
to see
for
you.
giving us first-class
Thank you.
broadcast and for having fun.
So how do we lead him in here now? What do we want to do here?
Well, we go from the AD to the commissioner. We upgrade, and that's pretty clear. Hold on.
Don't leave your business card just in case. We are honored and privileged to have the commissioner of the Njac joining us on our broadcast here, Terry Small. Terry, Chris Losey, thanks so much.
Chris, thank you. Pleasure.
Good to see you. Truth be told, I used to be an Njac umpire a long time ago.
Oh, I did not know that. How about that?
That's a good sign, my friends. That's a very good sign. He doesn't remember that mess. No,
Well, they say the best umpires go unseen and unremembered, right? It's,
no way. But anyway, seriously, I mean, you have got to be every year so impressed that year after year after year, this is one of the best conferences at the Division III level.
Yeah, we think so, and I appreciate you saying that. I'm biased, obviously, but I think,
Sure.
When you have great administrators who hire great coaches and recruit great student athletes and, are able to develop talent, recruit talent, and, we're very fortunate. And this year in particular, I mean, it was just a battle just to get to the starting line, as I'm sure you can imagine, Chris, but, it's really rewarding to know that we're either a couple innings away from ending the Njac season, or tomorrow we'll wrap up at the least. But it's very rewarding to get through this season, needless to say.
At the start of the season, as this is Colin Lombardo, by the way. It'll be Lombardo, Frankie Dean, and David Bacco here. 7, 8, 9 for William Paterson in the 7th. At the start of the season, was there a concern that we wouldn't even play at all?
Yeah, a real concern. In fact, I was telling our assistant commissioner, Michelle Sarabian, we were talking about, we had a meeting with our presidents, I think back in early January, and we had a real heartfelt discussion at the presidential level about, the risk of playing. And at the time, to be completely honest, Chris, we were more focused on basketball at the time.
Sure.
We had time to figure out, luckily, the spring sports, but
down the line, that's fair, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Lombardo will get a double on that, so he leads the Pioneer 7th off with a double down the left field line. Good.
But ultimately, the presidents, I think, made the right decision. They decided, hey, in fact, I said one of the presidents, I can't remember which ones, kind of asked it, what's the worst case scenario? We try to play and we have to stop and we stop, right? That's the worst case scenario? And I said, yeah, I think so. And so at the end of the day, they decided, if schools that wanted to try to play, let's try to play, and we'll try to, we'll do it safely. Obviously, we'll do it under the NCAA guidelines, which I don't know what you know, Chris, but I mean it's pretty stringent in terms of the testing and the travel. Sure. And the way you, even the way you sit in the dugout. I mean it's been an unbelievable. And I give our student athletes so much credit for, what they've been through this year. It's such an atypical year between the testing and the way they travel and. Even our schedule. I mean, normally we would play, most of our teams would play upwards of 20, 22 non-conference games, and these young men really played, for the most part, a conference-only schedule. I think Rowan maybe had a handful of non-conference games if you look at their schedule, but really It was, we kind of brought it in-house in terms of our scheduling, and, you saw a lot of, it was interesting at the beginning of the year, we had a lot of non-conference Njac matchups. So you'd have, Rowan play Kane in a non-conference game, or Paterson play Montclair in a non-conference game. That was kind of interesting. But, at the end of the day, I give our presidents all the credit in the world. They made an educated decision to give our student athletes an opportunity. And I think if you ask them, every student athlete I came in contact, they continually thank me for giving the opportunity to play this year.
Frankie Dean has a 3-0 count, by the way, with Lombardo, who leads off at second with a double. And we're with the Commissioner, Terry Small, of the Njac Conference. I have to ask you this. At the beginning of all of this, you look and the Ivy League decided to shut it down right away. I mean, I'm not asking you to second-guess them, but what was your thought as soon as you saw that?
Like I said, I can't. I respect everybody's decision, including, I mean, if you look at our membership, luckily when we got to the spring, I think all of our institutions participated in this, but we did have one school opt out of women's lacrosse, but all of our institutions decided to participate in baseball and softball and track and field, and so we were fortunate there. But even our basketball was controversial because we had John, who was sitting to see Rowan, didn't participate in our basketball, and that's fine. I mean, I respect each institution made the decision that was applicable to their institution. At the end of the day, I respect that. I'm not one to second-guess anybody's decision, and the Ivy League made the decision that was best for them. We made the decision that's best for us, and I think we're all happy with it.
Conference of the pitcher's mound for Eli Attia, who's still on the mound for Mike Dixon. He went 7 innings in the semifinal win in Game 2 last week. Here we got 2 on, nobody out. And this is David Babko. I don't know if you're here for the first game. See here, this the third baseman, Chris Liriano, was hit with that pitch right in the head, and then he came out. It's a great job, though. You saw the medical staff on both sides, and you always like to see that. They were right out to him right away.
I'm glad you boy, that's a perfect segue, Chris, to what I was going to say about the unsung heroes are our athletic trainers. And Fred Schwartz, to his credit, I mean, if you were here for the introductions for both games, he recognized the athletic trainers, and what they have done this whole semester is unbelievable. I mean, we've condensed our sports into, Michelle and I were just saying, we did all of our seasons in about 105 days. If you think about from an athletic training standpoint, to cover all those practices, all those games, all those treatments, and then on top of that, to add the testing, a number of our athletic trainers had roles with the testing, whether it was administering the testing or processing the results, thank you for recognizing them. I mean, they really are the unsung heroes of this whole year.
Jason O'Neill.
Now this kid, Jason O'Neill, who's now the new pitcher for Rowan, was a part of a national championship team at Cumberland County College. Watch him throw. Have you seen him throw?
I have. I don't believe so. Not live. I might have seen him on film this year, but Rowan's had a lot of success with the students from the 2-year institutions. I know they obviously there's a institutional relationship between Rowan and Gloucester. I forgive me, Brian Rowan, athletic director, for saying it wrong. I know it's not. It's Rowan, South Jersey. I still want to say Gloucester County College.
Do you?
But
Robbie Valley.
Yeah, so it's they have had a lot of success, and this is another in a long line of players that have successfully jumped from the 2-year.
I'm still not
to the
sure.
4-year.
I'm not still sure of the dynamics on how they merged. I mean, David, you want to give a shot at this? It's RCSJ Gloucester, RCSJ Cumberland. They compete separately, but it's the same school, or what am I missing? You're so lost. All right, he's got his Peter Cetera glasses on, so we're just making fun of him. But anyway, I want to give you a shout out, though, too, because this is not easy under these circumstances. I mean, let's talk about the officials, too, because they have to go through rigorous testing. And I had some assignments this year that I had to give back because, truth be told, I had COVID. And I am vaccinated, so you're okay. I'm vaccinated.
You're recovered,
okay?
I'm vaccinated too. But it's the main thing is obviously we wanted to look out for everybody's health and safety. But the NCAA was interesting because from an officiating standpoint, we had to test basketball officials, football officials, and baseball and softball home plate umpires, which is interesting. So technically, they were saying you don't have to test the base umpires, but you've worked the Njac. When you play doubleheaders, obviously you're going to switch roles. So we did between those 3 sports, we did 532 officials tests. We used a lab in Florida, and kind of did the division model where the test would be mailed to the official's home, and then they would self-administer and then ship it to a lab, and within 24 hours. But it was an interesting. I mean, it's something I hope hope and pray I'm out of the testing business next year, Chris, to be honest. But
sure.
And I'm sure we had some. A couple of these gentlemen, I think, might have tested 11, 12, 13 times. I mean, it's. But to their credit, it's they did everything we asked of them, and it was for their own personal health and safety and the safety of the student athletes. And I'm just so happy it looks like we're going to make it to the finish line here.
You are. The NCAA provided us those gaiters when we did our online test, and we registered, and then we were told those gaiters weren't sufficient. So it was definitely a struggle. There's no doubt. But again, I mean, we're playing, and now look at us now. Here we are. We're without masks for the first time. The governor says as long as you're in an outdoor and sporting event. And do you ever think we'd get there?
I'll be honest. I'd hoped we'd get there. I think we all hoped it might have been a little sooner, but I'll take it. To be honest, it's it's so nice to see the players be able to be in their dugouts, and to see the administrators and the fans not have to wear masks, and so we got there. Took a roundabout way to get here, and but hopefully we've turned the corner.
The pinch hitter Ovalis strikes out. One out here in the bottom of the 7th. Again, 2 on for the Pioneers in the top of the order, and Steve DiGirolamo. Did you get to see many baseball games this year?
I probably saw.
This could end the inning, by the way, Commish.
Good.
It does, so stick around. 4-6-3 double play ends the threat. No runs for the Pioneers. We're going to the top of the 8th here at Rowan. It's 6-1 Profs on BFA Sports.
If we had to in a pinch, right?
Oh, so. Alex wouldn't like that.
Catcher Jared Marks.
Going to the top of the 8th here at Rowan. The score is 6-1. Profs in front. This is the Njac Championship Series here on BFA. Chris Losey. I was with Brian Startari, longtime radio announcer on WIP. You remember him, Terry?
Yes, I do. I know the name real well. I do some work for a statistician for WIP Radio, the Eagles.
Did you see him?
I didn't get a chance to see him.
No, we're going to have to fix that.
Oh, it's a shame.
Ground ball to Lombardo, and Marks is out. That's the first out of the inning. I'll make sure that happens. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So you were at IP, and you were a statistician at games?
I do some work for Merrill Reese and Mike Quick on.
Great.
Normal. I usually do 8 home games in New York and Washington, but last year, since we didn't travel, I got to do all 16. So it was that was interesting too. Just the broadcasting field
from home
changed, and just like you guys are, everybody, the whole world kind of.
I'm gonna have to talk to him.
Let me ask you, Chris,
yes,
as an umpire, what do you think of the pace of play? It feels like it's kind of drug at different times. What causes that from an umpire? Yeah.
Now he's out of the box. So little things like that, Terry.
Change,
yeah.
I will say this game. I mean, while the pace hasn't been great. I mean, it's been a lot of deep counts, as I'm sure you've witnessed. There's been a lot of foul balls.
That's going in the outfield. We saw that coming, and then McCaffrey's going to get the third on that.
And I saw something in the first game that I don't think I've ever seen, where they assessed the ball to the pitcher, right, for
Correct.
going to the mouth. And
He licked. It's not going to the mouth because people confuse going to the mouth and actually licking your fingers. You can go to your mouth like blowing into your hands.
Okay.
And what we do is we make a differentiation or a point at the beginning of a game depending on the weather, right? Most of our games are played in, I don't want to say sub-zero, but very cold, right, in the beginning of the season. So I always say at the ground rules, pitchers can go to their mouth today while they're standing on the rubber, provided they're not in contact with their lips. This pitcher was off the rubber. He licked his finger and went right to the baseball.
Gotcha.
So because he was off the rubber, a ball was called, and did that hit him? It did. Isaac support. That's the second hit by pitch in this inning, Warburton, and they've got first and third with one out.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So you work all year as a two-man crew, and now you get to the postseason, you're in a three-man crew. How hard is it to go back? Do you have to study your three-man mechanics and
Absolutely
think about positioning and
absolutely
who's covering where? And
these guys are solid. They attend the clinics. Fortunately, in my season, I work some non-conference Big East stuff, and I get to the experience three-man. Actually, Big Ten does four-man.
Is that right?
Yeah, a couple of those. So, but the three-man is, we would love to see three-man go across the board, but, Terry, it's a money situation. Look at that. Warburton comes in tight. And now we're really going to hear something. That's Victor Cruz. He's been on base all day. But overall, back to your question, overall, you get the best of the best when you get to this level anyway. At this point, I mean, when you get to the final.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. I mean, it's and officiating. We have on our website that in Division III, we just announced a strategic plan to try to. I don't think it's any secret. You probably agree with me. We need more young people in officiating, and I've said, especially people that played the game, because I think there's a couple things for our student athletes. They should be knowledgeable of the rules, right? If you're coming right off the field, you should be in shape. You should, and I realize
That's me out.
You don't just walk into this level, but I mean, I'd love to see more of our student athletes get involved in officiating, just because it's, we have a national crisis in some parts around the country where, I mean, there's sports where, you can't play football on Friday nights in parts of the country because they don't have, enough officials. Luckily, we're not at that point yet, but we're trying to be proactive and really encouraging. If you go to the Njac website, njacsports.com, we have a link right at the top of our website to how to become an official. Doesn't matter what sport you're interested in, what area of the country you live in. You click on this website and it takes you to through a series of questions. It'll get you in touch with your local, officiating body. And I mean, it's not promising you're going to throw you into the big leagues, but it's a way to get your foot in the door if you're interested in at least considering officiating. And I've said all along. So if I
click, that would put you in touch with United Umpires?
Well, it's more the grassroots organizations around the country, for baseball or softball or
depending
tennis
upon where they live.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
But I've said this all along. You would agree with me, Chris. Even our coaches, if they did one game behind the plate, they would have a total new appreciation for.
How long have you been the commissioner?
The work. I'm going on. This is my 19th year, just finishing.
Okay.
And
so if I bring up Norm from Montclair,
Coach Schoenig, there's a lot of legendary names: Jeff Albies and Rick Dell and Juan Renaro, who did 2 stints here.
Yeah.
And we've been fortunate to have so many legends. Neil Iovero still going at Kane, and
who's the father-son duo at Ramapo? Remember that?
I'm not sure about baseball, but I know.
No, baseball. There was a father-son duo.
Okay, that's before my time.
No. 03, 04, 05.
Rich Martin was the head coach during most of my tenure, and now Ryan Rinsky, one of his ex-players, has kind of taken over for him. But we've been so blessed to have so many great coaches over the years. And
John Cole here.
Yes, John, who left here, went on to the University of Pennsylvania, and just a lot of great baseball men, a lot of great leaders of men, and it's no mystery why we've had success at the national level of baseball. We've had so many great coaches and players.
So we had another pitching change too there. I will tell you, I do 3 sports as an official. and it's becoming an epidemic. No pipeline at all, and it's mostly because, quite frankly, they don't want to be yelled at for $60 or $70, and if you're not going to take it from that level, you're not going up. So it's getting bad. I see articles every day. One state had to cancel this, they had to move this, they had to do that. Hopefully that doesn't get to
Paterson, number 33,
higher level, but it's bad. We're talking about high school, Terry. We're talking about high school tournaments that have to be rescheduled because they don't have officials that are available.
Yeah, I've seen it. My son's playing high school baseball now, and
where at?
At a school called Gloucester County Christian School. And I asked the athletic director, I said, how much do the baseball umpires? And she's like, $65. And I said, do you believe they make that much money? And I said, well, I'm not going to reveal what our umpires make, but I said it's considerably more. And I said that I think they're even underpaid, maybe at that number. I mean, it's it's the physical toll it takes on your body, the emotional stress of you have to have the right personality. I'm sure you can attest to this, Chris.
Sure.
Be honest, not everybody can take the criticism or take the interaction with all kinds of different constituents. So I have so much respect for our officials, not only in this game but all of our sports. And we're very lucky. We try to work with our assigners to cultivate the best pool of officials we can. But I encourage anybody that's out there listening to this, if you have an interest in officiating, even if there's a lot of people, I say this all the time, and Chris, want to be involved in sports, right?
Sure.
Whether it's doing what you're doing, broadcasting or coaching or whatever, one way to definitely get involved is officiating, and it's
it gives you it gives you a much better appreciation of the game because you'll know the rules and you'll just watch a game differently from that point forward. You really will.
And there are some coaches over the years, it's interesting, that told me, if I had it to do over again, I might have gone into officiating because and officiating, when the game's over, it's over. Now, I know, you try to learn from your mistakes and you look at film and you obviously never want to make the same mistake twice, but it's different than coaching where you're game planning, you're recruiting, you're officiating. It's, I've had basketball coaches tell me when the game's over, you're done for the night as a basketball official, although now they are required to go back and watch film. But, it's just a different world, officiating, and we need more good people in it. So if you're listening to this, please, I encourage you to go to njacsports.com, and we have a tab on there to how to become an official.
The new pitcher for the Pioneers is Zach Polzer, senior left-hander from Passaic County. This was not a setup, folks, too. Terry did that all on his own. I swear to God. Right? I'm serious. You are that passionate about it, and I think that's great. I really do.
It's it's something.
You talk about that often.
Division III, we've actually hired a consultant because we're concerned at the Division III level about. It's no secret our officials get pulled up to Division II, Division I, and some of the best of the best ultimately might have an opportunity. Yeah, and that's fine. That's how it's supposed to work. But we also need to have people. From the high school level that we can pull from, and then that requires people from the youth level that the high school can pull from. So it's the domino effect, so to speak. So we have to get more people in at the entry. I've encouraged our coaches when you're in any sport, whether it's field hockey or football or tennis, or when you have your exit interviews with your seniors, hand them a sheet about officiating, and hey, here's a way to stay involved in the game, and you might have a job. Another thing that's tricky, you could speak to this, Chris, to do this sport in particular, you have to have the right job because not everybody is available 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, to be in some part of New Jersey. And so, you have to, either, a lot of our officials have jobs in education, a lot of maybe own their own business or law enforcement or, first responders or so, it takes a... Yep. That's just another wrinkle in the things. It's it's not like we play all of our games at 8 o'clock at night and we can draw from a wide array of people. We're kind of at the mercy of people that their employment fits into our schedule, so to speak. Their full-time employment.
It's Ryan Murphy with the bases loaded, 2 out. We're talking about Ryan Murphy hitting a home run last week in Atlantic City. That was a long way. He's 6'7". Right fielder, 6'7", Terry, 6'7". Pitch gets away from Habib, and another run on the wild pitch. McCaffrey comes home with the 7th run for the Profs, and they now lead this one 7-1 here in the top of the 8th inning. We're with the Njac Commissioner, Terry Small. You're on BFA. This is Chris Losey. Doug Stasic left us earlier.
How was it being in the Sandcastle? I have not been there in years, to be completely honest. When I first started working for the Njac, I was telling Coach Giannini, Stockton used to play probably 4 or 5 games a year. And I remember seeing Stockton play down there, but it's been a long time.
That was when Marty was at Stockton, right?
Yes, yeah. Marty Cavanaugh.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I did in 2007. I did about, I don't know, maybe 40 or 45 surf games.
Okay.
And when they were in the Can-Am League.
Mitch Williams coaching any of those years?
No,
okay, I remember him coaching.
Chris Carminucci.
One year.
Doug's going to get mad, but I'm going to show the picture anyway. That's what I do. Fouled back. You know the picture it's coming out? You'll see it. Oh, you'll see it. Everybody else has seen it. It is to this day still, I believe, maybe not a Can-Am record, but certainly an Atlantic City record.
Okay.
That's right there. That is a little fire pit chat. Look at me in the back going, are you guys fighting? And it all stemmed from the night before. It had nothing to do with me or anything like that.
I'm sure there's some independent baseball. I imagine there's some great books that could be written, great stories that could be told around the. It's just as somebody that loves baseball.
Sure.
It's a shame to see the River Sharks disappear and the Newark Bears disappear. And I always was fortunate enough to go to a handful of those games. But we are excited. Jeff Dean is the director of athletics at Rutgers Camden. He's our Njac baseball chair, and he was here today giving me an update on their field progress. They're building a beautiful turf complex, what used to be on the site of Campbell's Field. But part of me is sad to see. I loved Campbell's Field. It was a beautiful facility.
It was.
And, I think it won minor league ballpark of the year a couple times. And
because of the view at the bridge.
Yeah, it was a beautiful scenery, picturesque view, and they talk about a tough 2 years. Rutgers Camden has played 2 years on the road, so to speak. And I was actually here. You asked me how many times I've seen Rowan. I was here for both of the Camden Rowan games, and I believe that was the one game that Camden Rowan lost was to Rutgers Camden, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're 17-1 in conference, and that was they lost to a very good Rutgers Camden team that one day here. But imagine playing all your games on the road for 2 consecutive years.
Sure. So. I'm going to show you something if I can find this picture. And this is probably why we were in the booth in Atlantic City last week. Here's a 2-2 to Murphy. That's inside. So it's a full count. 2 on. Rowan has a run in. They lead now 7-1. So Friday's game. There we go. Okay. And that was from our booth. Okay. That right there. I'm showing him the view from the press box. Ernie Corsi, who is the, I'm going to get this right, a state rep or like an assemblyman down in Atlantic City, did a phenomenal job in spearheading the effort to revitalize the Sandcastle Stadium as Murphy slams one to right field. Yellen, though, has a beat on it. He'll make the catch. We're going to go to the bottom of the 8th. Still with the Commissioner, Terry Small, at 7-1 Rowan here on BFA.
Go
ahead. continue that. That's a great point. That's a great point. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Rowan. The score is 7-1 Profs.
Shortstop Matt Ferreira.
Just lost something. What happened?
It's the great Marie Wozniak grabbed some stats and pulled them away.
I'm not sure what it was. I had it, now it's gone. Or did she leave something? All right. Anyway. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Matt Ferrara, Dylan Habib, and Steve Yellen for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 8th, and they trail 7-1. That's a 2-hopper to short. Schooley, he's a very good shortstop, Terry. And just as I say that, he airmailed Eric DiDomenico at first. So there's the kiss of death.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We always talk about the shadows in terms of the hitters. I've never heard anybody reference the shadows in terms of umpires. I mean, does it take an extra level of concentration when this time of night?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The worst is, and where are we at on the clock here? We're at 7:09, little lower, and you are on the wing, and the sun is right at
That's
you.
your Dylan
You've got to,
Habib.
So the error puts Ferrara on to lead off the 8th, and now the catcher, Dylan Habib. Again with the Njac Commissioner, Terry Small. This is Chris Losey, BFA Sports live coverage of the Njac Championship Series. Doug Stasic, the executive producer of BFA Sports, one of the three. Actually had to attend a viewing this evening of one of his players when he was a kid. And I just want to, just such sad, 20 years old.
Oh, man, my condolences.
Yeah, Tyler Hensley. Tragic accidental death on vacation in Myrtle Beach, and just everything just becomes so insignificant at that point, Terry. 20 years old.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny. We do our, unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it for 2 years in a row, but we do an end-of-the-year awards banquet. We're one of the few conferences that, I think we're the only conference in the country. Oh.
In the gap in right center, it's going to go to the fence. Habib with extra bases. They are going to send Ferrara. There's going to be a play at the plate, and Ferrara's dead. That little hesitation coming around third, you saw that, Terry, and then that was it.
Yeah, it's one I'm sure they'd like to have back down, obviously 6 runs, but it's but going back to, we do our awards brunch, and the last thing I always say, it's what's unique about this event is we give out all of our awards in every sport in one setting. We're the only conference that does this, D1, D2, D3, so we give out our football awards and our basketball awards. And I always say by having a safe summer to our students, and people say, well, why do you always say that? And I was like, because unfortunately, things happen, and these are young people, and you hope everybody makes good decisions over the course of the summer, but they are still young people, and we all made mistakes when we were younger, and we try to but they're also adults too, so but we just hope and pray that it's just terrible when you get news like that about the young man.
Yep. So at the plate, and you never make the first out at the plate, right, Terry? That's Cardinal Rule
not down
104.
Multiple runs, yeah, but it's. I was saying earlier, you can appreciate this, Chris. You've seen a lot of, I say unconventional baseball. I see players swinging in 3-0 counts, and a lot of backwards breaking balls and fastball counts, and I don't know. It's interesting to me how a lot of the major league stuff is starting to trickle down to the collegiate level. Now, I can't speak to the bat launch angle stuff, and you probably know more about that.
No, I don't.
From a umpire perspective, what you're seeing, hitters at what kind of approach they're taking. You don't see a lot of 2-strike approaches though anymore. I mean,
Yellen smashes one on one hop for a base hit. 2 on now. Still 7-1, and still Jason O'Neill on the mound for Rowan. I can tell you that, for the most part, there's a ball that comes in. Look at that. It's a different mindset. The game has changed, obviously. Yes. The problem is that the kids are just, when they watch it on TV, it just becomes ingrained in them. You're supposed to step out. See, remember our little experiment? We stopped doing it?
Yes.
Let's do it again. Yeah. Okay. So let's do it again. And this is a pure hitter. This is a designated hitter. This is Dan Carter. All right. 2 on and 1 out for the Pioneers. They had a run cut down at the plate for that one out. All right, that pitch is inside. Where's he at now?
Yeah, right. Took a step out.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
You want to put a clock on him right now?
Yeah.
Put a clock on him right now?
Yeah, okay.
And where's he right now? He just stepped on the rubber. So you want to multiply that by 300 in a game? That'll shorten your game. Just has to go to the higher level, though. The 1-0 pitch. That's hit the center field, and it's deep. McCaffrey going back on it. Can't get it. To the wall it goes. One run is in, and it's now 7-2. Habib scores on the double by Carter. You want to watch some more? You'll see what I'm talking about. And then, and you're like this on the plate, like, okay, let's go. Come on, boys, here we go. The only thing that I am a stickler about is if that batter steps out and that pitcher is standing on the rubber, I'm going to chase him back in. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to chase him back in. All right, so Jason O'Neill, he delivers a pitch, and then we'll see what happens here. So a run in, still one out. To short, first pitch, swinging. Schooley's got this one. Just gets Weiss. That's the second out.
Yeah, it's different. You know, a lot of the analytics, I think, are trickling into the collegiate game. Not so much, you know, it's interesting because last week was our softball championship, and softball, they still play the small ball game, as I like to say it. Batter gets on, they sacrifice them over. They're trying to really generate runs, and I think the runs are at such a premium in softball. But, yeah, you're seeing some different approaches now in baseball, and I don't know. I'm an old school guy. I like the hit and run game. I like the, you know, I don't know. I love baseball, and I think part of the problem is, you know, I'm not sure a lot of young people love baseball the way you and I loved it probably growing up. And I was telling somebody the other day, baseball was my number 1, 2, and 3 favorite sport growing up. I mean,
And where do you live now?
I live in a town, Pittman, not too far from here.
You're right here.
So yeah, locally, but grew up in Deptford, and you know, we played football and basketball and hockey, but only because it was too cold to play baseball. You know, it's you know, and the minute the weather broke, the wiffle ball bats came out, and you know, and the stick ball, and
chalk on the street.
So
games.
I love this game, and we have to do something to keep the attention, I think, of our young people, and so I'm a big advocate of trying different things. I know in the major leagues they're talking about in the minors, right? They're trying the clock. Now let me ask you, I'm really going to ask you a controversial one here: the electronic strike zone.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it. I can't see that happening. But you know, you need to put all kinds of equipment in there. Up the middle, Schooley's got it. In time, Lombardo is out, and so are the Pioneers. They get a couple, and it's 7-3 going to the 9th here on BFA.
Nick Schooley.
There's the damage if you are a William Paterson fan. 7-3. Rowan in front in Game 2. They took the opener 12-4 in Game 1, and in the 9th inning, it'll be Schooley, the shortstop, followed by Mastrangeli and Eric Domenico, facing the left-hander Zach Polzer in his second inning of work. Chris Losey, along with Terry Small, the commissioner of the Njac Conference. And I'm learning more about him than he's learning about me in this conversation. I'll tell you this, I've officially and formally invited him to come to our Bridgeton tournament that we run at Alden Field, which is in Bridgeton.
Yeah.
And
I have to check my schedule. My son, I'll give him a plug. He's in his high school playoffs this week.
There you go.
So I'm not exactly sure of the schedule, but if I can make it,
Where's
I'll try
his
to get
school?
out there. He goes to a small school called Gloucester County Christian School.
Okay.
Not too far from here, a couple miles away here. And
yeah,
so I'm happy for he's a freshman left fielder and
nice,
learning and having fun every day. So
very good friend of ours and of baseball as well, John Scanzano from King's Christian. You familiar with him?
Yes, yeah, a real successful program.
I am so thrilled that man was able to overcome what he overcame, because if you read his story, he had COVID really bad, Terry. Really bad, and at 38 years old, that shouldn't happen.
Man.
So thank God for John Scanzano, and
Amen.
He's just a great guy. School he walks to open up the 9th inning. We do those games as well. We have a group of high school umpires that do those games as well. We enjoy it immensely. So you've got the Gloucester County Christian School. You got Kings, Atlantic County,
Atlantic
Cumberland?
County, down by not too far from one of my schools, Stockton, and then they play at another school called the Pilgrim Academy. That's around the corner from Stockton as well. Cumberland, which is down in Vineland, and so he's having fun, getting an opportunity at a young age to get experience, and so we're very fortunate.
It's a little bit of a hike, though, if you got to play up at Scanzano's place. That's up in Nagorski Field in Pennsauken.
Okay.
1-0 from Polzer. Strike called to Mastrangeli, followed by the first baseman, Domenico. 7-3. Rowan is in front here in the 7th on BFA Sports. So here's a question for you. I'm going to take off my officiating hat and put my broadcasting hat on. Do you see us doing anything in the future with the Njac? Different sports, different...
I don't know. We'll have to talk, because we're pretty blessed. All of our schools have pretty decent streaming. Obviously it's just seeing your operation. You guys take it to another level, so I can appreciate what you're doing here. But maybe there's a future partnership there. Who knows? It's the technology's changing so fast too. I think it's really neat. And I can speak to this as a parent, because in the beginning of the basketball season for my son, we weren't allowed in the games, and something as simple as Facebook Live, what a blessing that was to be able to watch your child play. And now we're back, thankfully, to a point where we can be in a gym or be at a field. But back in those days, you're really relying on technology. So I have a great appreciation for what you guys did during that, especially the beginning period of when we're back in probably January, early January, with just getting going again. So
this company aired funerals, aired graduations. There's a strike 3 call. So Mastrangeli is out. That's the first out of the 9th inning, and it'll bring up Eric Domenico. Schooley at first. He walked, 1 out, 7-3. Rowan's in front here in the 9th inning of the Njac Championship Series here on BFA. There will be BFA Sports at Bridgeton. There's a pickoff, and they've got Schooley, except Lombardo dropped the ball. So Schooley's going to take second, and now the Nest is really getting at it. You come here often? It's like we're at a bar. Do you come to Rowan often? Do you see the games often?
As much as I can. I try to get around to. Especially when I first started, I tried to see every team at least one time. And living as close as I do to Rowan, it's nice because I can see Montclair come through town, or see New Jersey City, or.
Through the hole and a base hit. Schooley stopped at third. And the Profs with 2 on and 1 out here in the 9th. I say that because I'm pointing at the nest, which is this little student section right there in the outfield, and they're making themselves known. I think it's a great atmosphere, as long as you don't cross the line. But I think it's a great atmosphere.
It's interesting here. You think I always hear coaches talk about one in that fifth run, right? Does one swing's not going to tie the game, right? In the worst case scenario, and then so it looks like maybe Coach Dixon's trying to generate maybe one more run here.
Look at you getting some color analysis in there. All right.
Wow.
Leave us your name and number. We'll get back to you, right? 2 on and 1 out.
Well, it looked like a squeeze in the beginning, but he
sure did.
Pulled by. It was maybe a safety squeeze there.
So I would have said maybe the safety squeeze, yeah.
Paterson's got the I mean, they can't concede another run here, right? So they got to bring everybody in here, as they're doing. Well, they're going to conference.
How about even with the bag in the infield, you can turn a double play? They have turned 3 today. That'd be the only guess I've got. Paging Miss Marie Wozniak. What paper did you steal off of our desk? I'm just curious. No, of course not. That's fine. Thank you. So that's it for Zach Polzer. And the new pitcher is Riley Weiss, who is the brother of Carson Weiss. It's another thing I like to see. Take a look at this now, Terry. Here is hometowns of William Paterson, right?
William Paterson, number
Dumont, Clifton, Wayne, Hackensack, Bloomfield, Wallington, Belleville, Union City, Paramus, Bergenfield, Edison, Dumont, Hawthorne, Bloomfield, Wyckoff, Glen Rock. So you go through them. Cape May Courthouse, right? Linwood. Actually, this kid, his father is an umpire that I umpire with, Matt Lawler.
Small world.
Yeah, Sparta. But you see, now let's take a look at this side. And this is what I really like. Is we are back at this is our makeshift booth. Chris Losey, the commissioner of the Njac, Terry Small, and David Virgilio. Show your shades, David. Go ahead. Show your shades. Show everybody your shades. There you go. He's a new father. He's allowed to do that. Although not so new anymore. How old's the baby? 7
Congratulations.
months. Yeah. Westville, Hamilton North.
Yes.
Swedesboro, Belmar, Whippany, Wayne, Millville. So you could see how in the 10 schools, right, there's a lot of crossover with recruiting efforts. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, one of the things that's always interesting to me, if you look here, like here's a young man that's from Mawa, where Ramapo is, and it's always interesting to me. You'll see, a student, and we've seen it the other way, where your student might be going to Ramapo that's from Ewing, right?
These
and you say, well,
are in Stockton,
or somebody from Glassboro ends up at at Rutgers Newark, or it's always interesting to me. A lot of young people make decisions where to go to school for a lot of reasons. Some people want to go away. Some people might go for their academic major. Might be offered at one school that's not offered at another. So it's always interesting to me.
Look at these two. People. They're in Stockton's backyard.
Yes.
I think that just speaks so well of the diverse. I don't say diversity because that's a different word, but just the well-roundedness of how kids are recruited. I think it's great. I've done Njac football too. I've done some Njac football as an official.
Yeah, we're excited about the upcoming fall, and just saw Coach Dottie, who was a defensive coordinator here, and just talking to him about the season. Get ready, counting the days to training camp.
So I think regardless, I'm going to ask you this one. So Carson Weiss is at first base, and he looks over, and his brother Riley's the pitcher. What do you think of that?
I thought you were going to say who's on first, what's on second. Are we going there?
They're two brothers.
Yes, that's.
We could go to who's on.
Yeah, so there's some neat stories within the conference. It's
safety squeeze on a bunt goes foul.
You never know who you're going to see. I was walking in between games. I ran into my friend Bob Brookover, the great columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer and Daily News. He has a nephew that's on the William Paterson roster. Forgive me, I can't remember his name, but so it's great seeing him. And
Brian spotted him too.
Yeah, you never know who you're going to run into, and people love this game. That's just like you and I do, Chris. So
love
people, it's just what a great day. We couldn't have had better weather, right? I mean, it was picture perfect. And
there's the bunt. It's a squeeze, and it's going to get another run for the Profs. Mike Dixon does it again. Jordan Marks with the suicide squeeze. Schooley scores, and it's 8-3. And Terry, they got that fifth run.
Yeah, and that could be big. I mean, it's, like you've seen enough. I always say that we talk about the closer or whoever pitches the last inning. I always say there's a reason they pay those guys in the big leagues millions and millions of dollars to get the last 3 outs, right? Because they're the hardest 3 outs to get, right?
So what are you a Phillies fan?
I am, yes. In fact, I had the privilege, I normally say privilege, but my son and I had the opportunity to go last night. It was a rough game, but still was a beautiful night as well last night. So
we have the privilege and the blessings that we have the ability to go see certain people, so we can see, let's just say that we're in a good spot in the ballpark. And, just because you're a Division III commissioner and you're a parent, you're still a fan. And if I see Hector Neris one more time on the mound, we're going to have a problem. 2 outs, and this is Trip McCaffrey. I was trying to set you up there, but...
Well, last night they went to Archie Bradley, and he struggled, but I know he's coming off injury, and, it's...
well,
somehow they're staying in the race, which is, I think, more a testament to the rest of the division, but we'll see. It's a long way to go, as I'm sure everybody knows. So.
Testament or eulogy? McCaffrey held up on that. No, the appeal says he did swing, says Nick Mole at first.
That's what's so interesting about the collegiate game compared to the pro game. The collegiate game, we're getting ready to wrap up, and the pro game, they're
heating
not
up.
Even at the quarter pole, or I have so much respect for those guys and just the physical
every day
nature of getting their body ready to play 162 days, and
every day.
I'm sure it's the same for the umpires too. I mean, just the lifestyle, the travel, and the wear and tear they take. So I have a lot of respect for the umpires too.
Speaking of, I think Joe West is about ready to break the all-time record. It's either.
Joe West is my guy because Joe West is an Elon alum like myself.
Oh, really?
Elon University, yeah. So
okay.
My wife gets tired of me saying that. People don't know this, but Joe West was a great quarterback at Elon. I think he still has the all-time passing number, the passing records at Elon. Yeah. There's a young man now that's playing. I think he's going to break some of his records, but he still is, was a great athlete. I believe he still makes his home in the off season around the Elon area. So
he married a girl from Philadelphia. McCaffrey to short. Ferrara throws him out. Inning over. Might as well stick around now. We're just about done. Rowan gets the run. They lead 8-3. We're going to the bottom of the 9th here in Game 2 of the Njac Championship Series on BFA. No, thank you. Hey, we back yet or no? Oh, we are back. Hi, how are you? All right. We're back here. Bottom of the 9th is coming up. I want to thank the Njac Commissioner, Terry Small. Terry, it was a pleasure.
It was. Gentlemen, I appreciate it. You did a great job, and thank you for having me, and congratulations on the new child. And you're in for a handful pretty soon if you haven't figured that out yet. But no, in all seriousness, thank you for the opportunity, gentlemen. It's great having you.
My pleasure. I'm going to hold you to that. They're going to come to the Bridgeton tournament this weekend.
I'm going to try to make it. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if I can make it, okay?
Terry Small, the Njac Commissioner, he's going to go prepare for the possible trophy presentation as William Paterson down to their last 3 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And it will be for them 8-9-1, Frankie Doan, David Becko, and Steve. So, again, Commish, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Left fielder Frankie Dean.
Frankie Dean, it'll be 8-9-1 for the Pioneers, their last chance here. They trail 8-3, game 2 of the Njac Championship Series. And the new pitcher is Zach Listro, the senior from Swedesboro. Right-hander. The closer for this team? What do you think, David? Probably. So Listro, sidewinder, first pitch is a strike. So the Profs and their fan base here poised for a big celebration in the Njac Championship. 3 outs away. 1 strike pitch. That's there. It's 2 strikes. 2 quick strikes to Frankie Dean, followed again by David Bacco and Steve DiGirolamo. Actually, it's not Bacco. I think we hit for Bacco. We hit for Bacco with Armando Ovalis, so we'll see what Mike Lauterhan wants to do in the 9 spot. That pitch is outside. Ball and 2 strikes. Are we staying with the trophy presentation, Mr. Virgilio, if there is a victory by the Profs?
I would imagine.
Then we are.
I don't know.
Let's stick with it. It's a 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air to right field. Murphy, that's one of them. And it's going to be Ovalis. And Ovalis came into third for Bacco in the 7th inning. You're not leaving, are you?
I got to go over down by the field.
I want to give you a shout, though. Listen, I taught broadcasting 5 years on
Get my call me.
outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Vallis with a fly ball at his only time up. 8-3, Rowan in front. That's Listro winding. That pitch misses. Ball and a strike. Well, the board has 2-0, so I guess it's 2-0, David. 2-0 to Ovalis. There's a strike call. 2-1. Two on. Down low. 3-1 from Listro. Bottom of the 9th, William Paterson, the home team in this game number 2. 8-3, Rowan in front. 3-1, chop foul at the plate. Full count now to Ovalis. In the top of the order, Steve DiGirolamo is next. So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ovalis. With 1 out. This is Zach Listro, the senior from Swedesboro, peering in. And the 3-2. Missed ball 4. Ovalis walks. A 1-out base runner, the top of the order now for the Pioneers, and Stevie D. DiGirolamo. So a runner on for the Pioneers with 1 out. One strike to DiGirolamo. One strike pitch fouled away. Now it's 2 strikes to DiGirolamo. It'll be Matt Ferraro next. Weather got nice. We went from cooking to cozy. The line I used in college, David, cozy with Losey. Everybody changed the channel across America, right? And the 0-2 with one out. Missed outside 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have 1-2. Yes, we have 1-2. 1-2. Listro's delivery bounces down there, and it's 2-2. I'm thinking it's Freddie Schwartz, the PA announcer, who also does the ball strikes, and he heard me say so loud 2-2. He said, "Is it 2-2?" And they went, "No, it's 1-2." 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 9th. 1 out. Profs that close from an Njac championship. Fouled away. The rental car somewhere over there. Yeah, right. It's 2-2 still to Steve DiGirolamo. Well, Vallis at first, he walked. And the 2-2 is hit into the air behind the bag at third. Cruz back to get it. That's 2. So now the Pioneers are down to their last out. And it's the shortstop, Matt Ferrara.
Shortstop, Matt Ferrara.
Just trying to get in that sound. Zach Listro. 1 out away the Profs are from the 2021 Njac Championship. And all he has to do is take care of Matt Ferrara. First pitch swinging, it's bounced and goes foul. One strike to Ferrara. There's the nest. Got a funny feeling that's going to be enlarged for next year, that nest. Here's Zach Listro again. The 0-1. Outside 1-1. You know, Listro in the stretch coming very close to not stopping in the balk. Watch his hands. And up he goes. Hit in the air to right, or base hit to right field. Murphy gets it, so the Pioneers stay alive, and they have 2 on now. And here is the catcher, Dylan Habib. Vallis at second. He walked.
Catcher Dylan Habib.
Ferrara is at first. He singled. 2 on for the Pioneers. So it's 8-3. Listro trying to end it. Popped up, out of play. One strike to Dylan Habib. On base 4 times today in the doubleheader. He is 1 for 3 in this one. And now the crowd here at Rowan anticipating it. The 1-strike pitch. Missed outside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Profs are poised here to become Njac champions. It's a 1-1 from Listro. Missed inside, 2-1. If Habib survives, it'll be the cleanup batter, Steve Yellen. One ball, 1 strike. Did it hit him? Yes, it did. And it's going to load the bases. It's going to bring Yellen to the plate and is going to put the tying run in the on-deck circle. And we go back to our conversation with Njac Commissioner Terry Small, how important it was to get that extra run to keep the tying run off the plate. And if you are William Paterson, you want the guy that's up now, Steve Yellen, the cleanup batter. He has pop. Listro deals. Curveball. Strike. Sun starting to set here, and it could be setting on the Pioneers as well. 1 strike. Steve Yellen. The bases are loaded with Pioneers in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-1. On the ground to Schooley. To second. High throw, but it's caught. Rowan are the Njac champions.
The Profs are the 2021 Njac champions. Please stay around for awards presentation.
Well done, boys!
And if you talk to Mike Dixon, he would have said it from the beginning of the year that he knew he had something special in this squad. They went 17-1 in the regular season, and they blew by their opponents in the playoffs. They win it easily, 2 sweeps to end it. They took out Kane in 2 straight last weekend, and today it's a 2-game sweep of the Pioneers of William Paterson, and they are the Njac champions for 2021. Hats off to Mike Dixon and this incredibly talented staff, not to mention these wonderful players that some say are mature beyond their years. Everybody I've talked to around Rowan the last 2 weeks have said the same thing, that just like Dr. Giannini said, the athletic director here, he said, you know, they knew something special was happening. And everybody celebrating here in Glassboro as Rowan are the Njac champions of 2021, and they are saluting the nest. That is Terry Small, who was our guest for 3 innings on our broadcast, and we were thrilled to have him. He is the commissioner of the Njac, and he will make the trophy presentation to Mike Dixon and the Rowan Profs. They win 8-3 after they won the opener 12-4.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And they take
at
the
this
series
time,
2-0. Here's Freddie Schwartz.
we ask that you please direct your attention to the area in front of the pitcher's mound for a brief awards presentation.
Mike Dixon gets the
Before
bucket.
The awards are presented to the 2021 champions. We'd ask for a round of applause for the 2021 New Jersey Athletic Conference runner-up, the Pioneers of William Paterson University.
And now the acknowledgement of the Pioneers of William Paterson.
With their 2-0 series victory, Rowan has clinched the 2021 New Jersey Athletic Conference Baseball Championship. Here to make the championship trophy presentation is Terry Small, the Commissioner of the New Jersey Athletic Conference, and Michelle Sarabian, the Assistant Commissioner of the New Jersey Athletic Conference. At this time, we ask team captains Alex Kokas, Jared Marks, Drew Ryback, and Nick Schooley, and head coach Mike Dixon to please make their way to the field to accept the 2021 New Jersey Athletic Conference Baseball Championship Trophy.
Picture time. What a moment. What a moment for these kids serving as captains. But how about that man with the smile there, Mike Dixon? Nobody works harder than him. And there they are. 2021 champions of the Njac.
At this time, a championship t-shirt will be presented to each member of the Profs team. Coming out first will be number 1, Jason Bobiak. Number 2, Ryan. I knew I would not get this right on the last one. Mastrangeli. Mastrangeli. Hey, I got it right for 2 games anyway.
With a little help, right?
Number 3, Zach Listro. Number 4, Mike Shannon. Number 6, Mike Roma. Number 7, Alex Kokas.
That gets
Number 8,
that
Ryan
gets me a t-shirt. I
McIsaac.
fixed them. That gets me a t-shirt.
Number 9, Drew Ryback. Number 10, Eli Attia.
Drew Ryback, 2 starts, 2 wins.
Number 11,
Got
Michael
both series
Medina.
off
Number 12, Gene
on the right
Sapini.
foot for Mike Dixon.
Number 13, Donald Zellman. Number 14, Tyler Kubrick. Number 15, Chris Curcio. Number 16, Jared Marks.
Jared Marks, what a job he's done
17,
catching.
Mark Hernandez. Number 18, Nick Schooley.
One of the best defensive
Number 19,
shortstops we've seen in a long
Ryan
time in Schooley.
Number 20, Christian Baskunin.
Had a relief appearance today,
Number
Baskunin
21,
did.
Victor Cruz.
Good third baseman, Victor
Number
Cruz, had a
23,
great
Chip
tournament.
McCaffrey. Number 24, Ryan Murphy. Number 25,
Ryan Murphy.
Eric DiDomenico.
How about the first baseman, Eric
Number
DiDomenico, in this
26,
series?
Matt Missinello. Number 27, Pat DeFusciani. Number 28, Ryan Irvine. Number 29, Drew Golden. Number 33, David Levin. Number 35, Jason O'Neill. Number
Jason
36,
O'Neill from the
Ryan
bullpen.
West. Number 40, Chris All. Number 42, Thomas Sullivan. Number 43, Garrett Smith. Number 44, Hunter Roniak. Number 55, Patrick Saniovich. Assistant coach, Brett Young. Assistant coach, Kevin Gunter. Assistant coach, Jordan Friedman. And head coach, Mike Dixon.
Everybody gets a shirt. There's Kevin Gunter,
Championship Series victory.
Jordan
Rowan
Freeman,
has
Brett Young,
the conference automatic
and there's Mike
qualification
Dixon.
to the 2021 NCAA Division III National Championship Tournament. The NCAA tournament selections and brackets will be revealed via a press release, which will be posted on ncaa.com on Sunday at approximately midnight. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for the 2021 New Jersey Athletic Conference baseball champions, the Profs of Rowan University. On behalf of the presidents and athletic administrators of the New Jersey Athletic Conference,
Should I fix this now?
Support of Njac
All right.
baseball tournament.
So, we are back here, and what a finish to the season here for Rowan, and we're glad to be a part of it in the last 2 weekends, broadcasting you the semifinal as well as the final. And Rowan, they win the Njac with a sweep against William Paterson. First game 12-4, and they win the nightcap here 8-3. Just like last week, good solid starting pitching from Mike Dixon. Bullpen did what they had to do, but the offense took control. And when the defense needed it, they bailed out the pitching for this Profs team. So as you heard Freddie Schwartz say in the celebration, that there will be a bracket and the selections will come out on Sunday around midnight. So that would probably make it Monday if you want to be technical. But when all the tournaments are said and done. So there will be, obviously, the national championship will include Rowan with a berth because they won their conference title. So a lot of people to thank, and I'm glad we got to introduce them to you. So I want to start, Brian Startari helping us out here in color, did a great job. Brian, you may know from WIP, Flyers Radio, but he's also a Rowan alum, and he jumped at the chance to do this when I called him. So hats off to you, B-Star. Thanks so much. To all of the crew that we have here. We had Charles Hope on the camera. We had David Virgilio here at the set, and he took his sunglasses off. I want to give a special shout-out to the athletic director here, Dr. John Giannini. Of course, you know him maybe as the LaSalle basketball coach, but he's here. He has done a phenomenal job for this university, and we had a chance to talk to him and visit with him for a few innings, and it was a lot of fun and very gracious for him to do that. Freddie Schwartz, want to thank him, one of the best PA announcers we have in baseball here in the South Jersey area, who just walked by. Also, we had Terry Small, the commissioner of this conference, the Njac conference. Before you saw him give the trophy presentation, he had a nice visit with us as well. And we had, other than Charles, we have James Mooney on the camera. It was Drew Stasic on the camera earlier on. And, of course, Doug Stasic. The executive producers of BFA Sports are Doug Stasic, Brian Murray, Al Fisher. You're looking